up. You kind of gather them in the street. I think it's going to look fantastic. Now, you said I thought it was going to be at BB King and Beal, which is the other one.
BB King and Beal.
Yes, that is not by BB King's.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
That is by.
Oh, I was thinking they were saying.
I
thought they were saying BB King's, meaning BB King's restaurant and bar.
No, they'll be shooting up the hill from down by Silky's.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
the street goes uphill from there.
That's
so
perfect.
It'll look much better because then you're up. You'll see the people up the hill.
That's perfect. Yeah. And I imagine that. I think I heard about one or two of the establishments, but I would imagine that a lot of the establishments on Beale Street will be opening up earlier than they usually do. Also, not just the bars and restaurants. And I'm not sure if there's any type of ordinance on what time you can sell liquor. I don't know.
The ones down there, I think, can sell anytime.
Okay. So that's going to not be.
I know they were on the news last night. One of the guys from Silky's talked about the fact that they were going to be selling Bloody Marys and stuff. So, yeah, you're going to be able to find it.
Yeah, and that's what I said yesterday. There's no reason why you just don't open early or stay open the entire night from Friday night or from, Friday night into Saturday morning. But either way, it is going to be epic. And this is a very, very important week for the University of Memphis. But really, just as important, or even more so, is the game itself as far, well, obviously the result on the field, but in the stands. How full will that Liberty Bowl Stadium be? How good will we look to this national televised audience on ABC, the primetime game with Chris Fowler and Kirk Herbstreit and Maria Taylor? How will this look? That is very, very important. Game day, I think we'll get the revelers out there. I think they'll be out there in full force. The weather, yeah, it's going to be a little cold, but it's going to be sunny and clear, and that's for the game as well. Obviously, the sun will go down, but it'll be nice and clear with a very, very, very minuscule chance of precipitation. So really no excuses. And then the flash sale that they had yesterday for $9. They did well yesterday. They'll continue to probably throw out some deals, and we'll talk to Steve specifically about that. It is not a Friday night where you got to worry about prep football. It is not a school night. There's no holidays. This is it. This is really where we will establish what type of fandom Memphis Tigers football has, because it's also a battle for the division lead and a step closer to winning your division, playing in a conference championship game again for the University of Memphis. This fandom Saturday night will be their true followers for the most part. There's some people, I guess a few, that certainly have to work on a Saturday night, but for the most part, this is it. It's right there for the taking. What type of support does Memphis Tigers football have? So again, right now, phones are open. 360-8255, your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on game day. How about the guest picker? Who's your choice for that? Desmond Howard wants to know where to eat other than barbecue. What do you say? Barbecue and
doesn't want pork or beef.
Pork or beef. And he wants to know a great dessert as well. There's others that have reached out, including Reese Davis. You know, what's happening in Memphis? What do they need to see? What do they need to do? You can text in on the First Bank text line at 67129. You can hit us up on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255, or again, message us at Sports56 WHBQ on Facebook, Periscope, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. Something that many people, including myself, I believe you were in that boat as well, Eli, on that boat, that game day would never come to Memphis. And here we are, days away from game day in Memphis for football.
Yeah, it's really quite amazing. I was kind of just thinking about it and stuff yesterday afternoon after they finally, once they made the official announcement, the idea of what this is and how far this program has come in a relatively short period of time. It's really incredible to think, because I never thought that game day would come here for a couple of years. First, I just didn't think, you were going to, because to get them to come to a non-Power 5 environment, I mean, you've got to be pretty special. Like it takes, you better be playing a really important game at a very high level. And the idea of Memphis doing that just didn't seem realistic. I mean, you just think back, it wasn't that long ago, the Larry Porter years, when this program was at a just all-time low. It was a disaster. It was a laughingstock. It was one of the worst programs in the nation. And to think that in the short period of time to come from that to being able to be good enough and playing games important enough to host game day is really incredible. I mean, it's really astonishing. And I tweeted about it yesterday. I mean, kudos to Justin Fuente. He started it kind of, and then Mike Norvell has taken it to new levels. And there's been a lot of other folks, and I know a lot of people chimed in on Twitter. A lot of people go back to Tommy West and the speech
nearly 10 years ago to the day.
The basically, and as not basically, he said,
called out everybody.
Either put, care about it and put something into it, or just do away with it, because what they were doing was just getting him nowhere. But the thing was, like, the program hadn't bottomed out yet. It would then bottom out a couple of years later under Larry Porter. Like, that's when it bottomed out. And then to recover, Tom Bowen has to be acknowledged. I mean, he was brought in mainly to get this football program on track. And, I know there's a lot of people out there, and since he's been gone, there's been some piling on and all of that stuff that have issues with certain things about Tom Bowen or whatever. But the bottom line is he was brought here to get this football program in order, and he left this football program in order, in order it's never been in its history.
Tom Bowen did a nice job with football. He was here for that reason, and he started to help get it on the right path and the trajectory forward and positive, and certainly he needs to be acknowledged for that. Dr. Rudd has really been a difference maker as the president, who cares so much about athletics and has done so much for that university beyond just athletics. He needs to be applauded for what he has done. The guys and gals behind the scene on the committees that make these hires, or at least suggest the hires to the president, they also need to be acknowledged. And the people we're talking about, because we talk about them all the time. Brad Martin was a big part of that, Alan Graff, Cato Johnson, on and on and on. But I think the move, also the creation of the American Conference, has been big. No, it's not a Power 5 conference, but it is a big leap from what it was with Conference USA. And although some of those schools went from Conference USA, like Memphis, to the American, it has established itself as a very strong conference. And you could easily, Chris Vanini, who's a guest on our show periodically, makes the argument that the American is better than the ACC. And if you take out Clemson, it's not even close. But obviously Clemson is the bell cow. But even with Clemson, he still thinks the American Conference, top to bottom, is the best conference. So you couple that all in there. They're making a little bit more money from their television contract, but not this hordes of money that the Power 5 are making. But it is truly amazing what has happened in the 10 years since Tommy West let them have it. It really is. And the players they're now able to recruit. They're able to get really, really good, talented players. Are they getting all these 5-star players? No. We understand that. And you always wonder, at least I do, and I'm sure a lot of Tigers fans, what if the University of Memphis, was in a Power 5 school with all the resources, all that money? They're already doing very, very well in recruiting. What they could do, I think the sky would be the limit. But that's not the case, and we don't know if that will ever be the case. But for right now, for what it is, it's pretty special. It is really, really a fun time to be a Tigers fan, and for somebody like us in the media covering the Tigers.
Well, I'm happy for a lot of those people, because there are so many of the just long-suffering Tiger fans who have been through a lot of really bad times, but still always supported this team. I mean, that group who, even in those Larry Porter years when there's like 3,000 people at the games, they're those 3,000 people out there.
Right.
Didn't miss games no matter what. Still made road trips with them in the horrendous years when there's just no reason to go travel and watch this team. You know, the Highland 100 members and others, and I've gotten to know many of those people, and I'm happy for all of those people to be able to finally really reap some good times to be a Memphis Tiger football fan. Because those people, I know a little bit how they feel being a Cub fan, like my whole life going like, is this ever, like, am I ever going to get the good time? When do I finally get the good times after all of these bad times? And then when you finally get them, it's great. And they're not, I mean, the Cubs won a World Series. Like they're not going to win a national championship because that's impossible. But this is about as good as it gets. And if they get a New Year's Six bowl game and those people can go to a game like that and watch them play in a Cotton Bowl, like that's it. Like that's what you can hope for. And I hope those people get that opportunity because they have put a lot of time, a ton of money, and just effort and everything else into being a Tiger fan. They deserve those rewards.
No question. Look, I was for many, many years on the road with the Tigers all the time, starting when I first got here. I went through the lean years and the Rip Shearer years when the Tigers offense would muster 10 points or 13 points. And then obviously with Tommy and things got better and they finally got back to that bowl game. When they went to New Orleans, it was just incredible to be able to get back to a bowl game. I remember it was freezing in New Orleans, and then the rainstorm the next year in the game in Mobile, the bowl game in Mobile, and then all of a sudden you started to see the talent get better and better to bring in guys like D'Angelo Williams to be able to keep him from going to the SEC and coming to Memphis and turning into one of the greats of all time. But then still the problems and Tommy West's epic speech. And then, as you said, it wasn't even rock bottom then. Then Larry Porter, it just didn't work out. Rock bottom when you got 4,000 people, like you said, at the stadium for the games. But yes, I know a lot of those people. Some are still with us, some are not with us. When I would go with the team, and they would be right there at the hotel room. But here's the thing, or the hotel. Here's the thing. We don't care if you're a long-suffering Tigers fan, a recent Tigers fan, a transplanted person who's now in Memphis and looking for a team to root for. The bandwagon has plenty of room. And Saturday night is the time that you need to show. Again, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Who am I to tell you what to do with your time and your money? But if you want to, this will really, in my opinion, showcase what type of fandom we have, what level we have with Memphis football. Because you can't get any bigger than this. Game day's here. You have a nationally televised game on ABC Network. It's the primetime game on Saturday night, and you're battling SMU for the division lead. You're 7-1. They're 8-0. It's epic. If you draw 29,000 people, that's on you. It's not going to get better. Unless, of course, you bring in a big name and then a bunch of their fans come. But for Tigers fans, we're not going to see many SMU fans at this game. How much will they show up? And I have confidence that Tiger fans are going to show up because of not only pride for their hometown school, whether they went there or not, civic pride for this city because it's being showcased. And if we don't get well over 40,000, towards 50, I think everybody should be disappointed.
The forecast for Saturday is sunny, high of 52, low of 31. So during the game, I'm going to guess it's probably going to be in the 40s.
Yeah.
Low 40s probably.
I'll wear my winter jacket on the sideline.
For game day, early in the morning, you're probably looking at in the 40s. I'm sure a lot of the people that will be out at game day will not be feeling a whole lot as far as temperature goes, or at least by the end of game day. Early on, that
mimosas
that just motivates you to
Bloody Marys,
warm yourself up in any way that you can. But no, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this all looks like and everything else as far as seeing game day on Beale Street. I think it's going to be absolutely fantastic. should be a great show. And to see Memphis in that spotlight is absolutely great.
All right, we need to take a break. Again, if you want to call in, fine. If you're shy, don't and text in. But let us know. What are your plans? You going to game day? You going to the game? You going to both? You going to neither? Text in at 67129, the First Bank text line. First Bank phone lines are 360-8255. They are open. We got a lot of guests coming up later on, so we probably won't be able to circle back with calls and texts at that time of the show. So certainly this is the opportunity. We'll also talk about Tigers hoops from last night. A win over Lemoyne-Owen as expected, but a performance not as strong as people expected. Are there issues? We'll talk about that as we continue on Middays, right here on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
grab a seat for Happy Hour. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. Their newly renovated drive-in repair shop is open to the public. Whether it'll be your everyday driver, farm equipment, fleet vehicle, or heavy-duty truck, their ASE-certified technicians will get you back on the road. The on-site dyno is ready to run all the necessary diagnostic testing. From preventative maintenance to complete overhauls, Mid-South Power can handle it all. Stop in today at 3288 Mill Branch Road or call 901-396-0710 and online at mid-southpower.com.
this is Carl on his motorcycle.
Let's ride till we run out of gas!
And this is Carl off his motorcycle.
Balsa wood is very different than teak. People confuse the two.
On his motorcycle.
Hey! Check out that view!
Off his motorcycle.
Let's do puzzles in the break room.
On.
Look at all that open road!
Off.
Look how long my fingernails are getting.
You're better on your bike. Progressive helps keep you on it. Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, excellence in office solutions.
Pop Wigington has been in the restaurant business since the 70s and has now brought 3 generations of family favorites together under one roof at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's takes you back to a simpler time when food and life was more wholesome. Settle down today for lunch or dinner at Pop's with daily specials like country fried steak, fried catfish, chicken and dumplings, or Pop's famous fried chicken livers, all served up with your choice of 23 fresh vegetables like field peas and snaps, seasoned green beans, sweet corn and turnip greens. Hungry for a sandwich? Check out the Chuck, a hand-patted cheeseburger between 2 grilled cheese buns topped with lettuce, tomato, diced onion, pickles, fried egg, and bacon. Or a half-pound flat iron steak sandwich served on Texas toast. Don't forget one of Grandma's homemade desserts like chess pie or banana pudding. Take comfort today at Pop's Comfort Kitchen, 2990 Kirby Whitten Parkway next to Kroger. Pop's Comfort Kitchen.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again.
Our great Gaston and Eli Savoie.
We're caught in a trap.
Welcome back, everybody. 10:26 is the time. Hour number 1, Sports 56 Middays.
Got some text here on the First Bank text line we'll get to. Got a tweet from Bob. He says, it's a shame that great Memphians like Jack Eaton and George Lapidus aren't here to see Memphis get game day. Yeah, that's part of my, when I was thinking yesterday, I was thinking about there's a lot of people out there that I think it would be nice if they would have had the opportunity to see Memphis football get to this point. Because again, a lot of people have put in a lot of time and effort towards it that, they probably, like most others, didn't believe it could ever get to this point. So
sure.
Be nice to have them be able to see that, okay, all that time and effort was worth something because there was an end to it that was worth it.
Completely agree.
Text here. Somebody said, my plan is sitting at home with a refrigerator full of beer and watch it on TV in the comfort of my own home. That's fine.
It's fine.
I'm sure a lot of people will be doing that. Somebody else says, just my opinion, I could be totally wrong. My only concern with doing it on Beale is that not enough people won't be able to get close enough to the stage to truly enjoy it. I hope I'm wrong. You don't have to be right next to the stage. I mean, being right next to the stage isn't really any different. It's not like you get to hear them speaking. They've got speakers and stuff. I mean, being right next to the stage versus being back there somewhere really isn't changing your experience that much.
Yeah, maybe the thought is that most of the time when you watch game day, you see the big horde of people like right behind them, but it goes way, way, way back. But you kind of see them all.
This is what you'll see in Beale Street.
Well,
you'll see because there's nobody to the sides. That's all down the street behind.
Okay,
them.
that's what I was going to ask you. Are they going to flood out to the sides?
They can. There's buildings there.
No. Isn't it going to be right at the intersection? They're going to close down the intersection?
Yeah, but you once you're on Beale, then your buildings. I mean, it's Silkies and Rum Boogie, and then.
But my thought is, again, follow me, and I don't know how the setup is. They're at the intersection, right? So they're not in front of. They're right there where the street is, where the cars would go, right? So there's streets to the left, right, north, south. I mean, east, west, north, south. So I think what this person's saying is, if you're not on that line going down Beale, and you're on, 3rd Street going to the, would it be
BB
north,
King
south? BB, yeah. Then you wouldn't be seen on that shot that's in front of the personalities going back. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, again, but I don't know that they'll probably put people down the street.
That's what I want to know.
On Beale Street,
but
behind the shot.
I'm thinking that's probably what that person's referencing because, again, you see with an overhead shot, you'll see all the people if they are actually down those side streets as well. But if you're just strictly on Beale and you got to just file behind, it will look massive because they'll go way back. But you're right. There's speakers there. I assume I've never been to one, but people react, so they obviously listen. They obviously can hear it because they'll boo a lot of times when it's against their team, when somebody's picking against their team or saying something about their team in a negative manner.
Somebody says both the front and back sides of the stage will be open for people to stand. Yeah, I mean, I guess, because you could go the other way down Beale Street, too. I don't know. Yeah, and they said that's not normal for the majority. Well, yeah, the majority of them aren't set up on a street, so they probably don't have the ability on both sides. This being where you're on a street, you obviously have both directions you can go from that.
Yeah,
a lot of those, you get into those little college town campuses, you're probably kind of nestled into somewhere where one side of it, there just isn't going to be any room.
Right, and the angle that we see most of the time would be shooting towards the stage and the personalities with the people in the back. But I guarantee you there'll be some overhead cameras that will look the other way, will shoot the other way, and you'll see people up the other side of Beale Street.
And they also have like a second stage too. I don't know where that's going to be because that's where they do like they'll have Maria Taylor over there doing the interviews and stuff like that. So I don't know where that exactly will be. I mean, I don't know what the whole setup's going to be, but there's the main stage where those are, but they also have the other stage where they do interviews like David Pollack and Maria Taylor a lot of times are over there breaking stuff down, doing their thing. So we'll have to wait and see, but the idea of how close you are to the stage isn't going to be that big a deal. People will be fine. People will be just fine. And I think it will look great with that shot because Beale Street does go uphill there. You'll be able to see all those people. I think it'll look awesome.
I'll be curious to see what other things they add to this 3-hour extravaganza. Will they do anything like, I imagine we'll get the old, presentation of the ribs, the barbecue. I don't know. I guess it would be rendezvous but it could be another barbecue place. Maybe it'll be Central Barbecue. I don't know. Maybe Don DeWeese comes in with a big platter of Gibson's, because that's one of our staples here, and brings that in for the boys. I don't know. It'd be kind of cool. Do they ever do entertainment part of the? I never watched the 3-hour thing. I watched the last 5 or 10 minutes with Corso and the picks. Do they ever have, I was thinking, how about if they had Mark Cohn here? Walking on Memphis, kind of doing his song.
No, I mean, they don't do,
they won't do that kind of stuff, right?
They talk about the college football day. That's
right. No,
what
I
it is.
understand. I understand, but I mean, it's 3 hours. I didn't know if they also did some other stuff. Like I said, it's 8 to 11 Central Time.
Yeah, that's the actual.
I'm
show.
not up at 8 o'clock watching.
They do stuff earlier, and they'll do some pop. They'll be doing Sports Center stuff on Friday from here, and then Saturday morning early they do a couple of hits, and then the show actually comes on at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning and goes 8 to 11. But I mean, it's about the day of college football, and it's pretty much all college football. And they'll have their Tom Rinaldi stories and stuff. And again, I'm sure there's going to be a big package done on the history of SMU. I mean, because they did a 30-30 on SMU, so they've got plenty of footage talking about those days and then the death penalty and all that stuff. So I'm sure there will be a big thing about SMU and what they'll do about as far as Memphis. I'm sure there'll be some Memphis-related package that they do that will, whether Rinaldi does it or something like that. But yeah, I mean, but for the most part, it's those guys sitting around talking about the various football games that day and breaking them down, and then they do all the picks on them.
Not far from where they are is FedEx Forum. Of course, the Grizzlies will play Saturday night against the Phoenix Suns. You have the Art Expo, whatever that thing is, down on Riverside Drive and Tomley Park, wherever it is. I saw the advertisement for it yesterday, the promo on TV. So that's a big event that's going on downtown. I think there's some kind of running event. I'm just trying to think.
River Arts Fest?
River Arts
was
Fest.
last weekend.
Oh, that was last weekend? Well, They ran the commercial last night.
Yeah, it was last week. Riverside Drive was shut down the other night.
Well, damn, they ran the commercial a week late. There's some other things going on, though, so I wonder how the traffic will be.
Somebody says the second stage area is going to be close to Dyer, so that would be the other. Okay, so maybe they're taking the second stage down that way, down Beale Street, and then they would have. So you'd have the area behind the main stage all for people, and then the other stage would be the other way where people can, and that's where you can have people over there as well. Somebody says, Eli, do you think Mike Oresco will be in the front row with a Power 6 poster?
He'll have his face.
I'm sure he will be.
P6.
I can only imagine or they're hiring people or something. I have a feeling somehow Mike Oresco will be sure to get P6 signs somewhere in the audience this weekend.
Yeah, we'll have the P on the one side of his face, the 6 on the other side of the face. It'd be kind of cool though if we saw let's see, who are the regulars what we see in crowds? Marlins Man. Maybe Marlins Man will make an appearance. I'm kidding, of course. Remember the old rainbow wig guy that would pop up, 316? Remember him from all those days? It's going to be interesting to see how the signs will read. What interesting creative signs will be in the audience for game day. Looking forward to watching it in the comfort of my home because I am going nowhere near.
Memphis has a history
set.
of we love catchphrases on T-shirts. I'm sure we've got some creative people out there. I'm sure there will be some good signs. I would expect there to be some good stuff.
All right, so let's see.
I would imagine there will be some signs that will take some shots at the University of Tennessee. I would imagine there will be some signs that take shots at other programs like Ole Miss and others that are struggling right now. While the fact that game day is in Memphis, there will be.
Let me ask you.
It's nice to know we're on their minds while they're playing SMU.
All right, yes or no? Will there be a Memphis versus everybody sign?
Oh, I bet you money
okay.
on
That's
multiple.
Will there be a whoop that trick sign?
I don't know. I think that's more of a Grizzlies thing. I don't know that maybe, but I wouldn't think so.
You just mentioned Tennessee. Will there be a? I don't want to say it. It's not something I should say on the air. But I could kind of think of something that they might put on a sign for the Big Orange. But again, I assume that when these, or do they have an opportunity to, with security, to check the signs? Are they looking at the people's signs when they walk in?
No, I don't know. I don't know as far as that goes.
What else? Oh, got some kind of Elvis. Elvis is alive. Some type of sign like that.
Well, there will be multiple, because now the new thing is to put up that you need money for something, so Venmo me.
Oh, yeah,
so that has become now, ever since the Iowa State one, that has been every week there are multiple, what was the one last week? South Dakota is cold and boring, need to get out of here, something like that. Venmo me at, whatever.
Multiple penny signs? Maybe the actual penny, the penny, the 1 cent piece.
I'm sure there will be some of that, yeah.
Yep, there'll be some penny signs.
Somebody says they do check all signs before you enter the stage area.
That's what I thought. Because you could throw anything up there. They're not going to have people either supporting or.
Someone says someone needs to get in touch with the medicine man. It's a must.
Medicine man. I tweeted last night about the possibilities of who could be the guest picker, and Dan Bartow tweeted me back, and he said, Prince Mongo.
It's funny because somebody else said, please don't let Mongo anywhere near the place.
He's in Florida, though, isn't he?
Somebody says not going to either game day or game, working early both Saturday and Sunday. There's a Grizzlies game Saturday night for another option.
Okay. I understand if you're working. And this person who just texted in, obviously, come on. I mean, that's a great excuse. But can we skip? I know the Grizzlies are playing the Suns. For one time, they play 82 games, for goodness sakes. Can we just forget about the Grizzlies Saturday night? This is about the Memphis Tigers football team and about that game, isn't it? Isn't it about that? I mean, the Grizzlies will have their fans. They will have their season ticket holders. They will be at the game. But this is about making that stadium look as best as it can, because this is the limelight, man. This is the national game. This is it, man. You have to look the best. I'm not worried about a Grizzlies Suns 5th game of the year regular season contest that has no meaning compared to what the meaning is of that football. And this is not a knock on the Grizzlies. It just happens to be Saturday night when the Tigers are playing in one of the most important games in their history.
Ole Miss fan texts in, says they do check signs for hashtags, website names, and things like that. They crossed it out with a Sharpie and let you go. Somebody says sign idea. Tommy West said it best.
Nice.
Somebody else says, I'll say it for you, Greg. Nothing sucks like a big orange.
There you go. There you go. Thank you. Knew exactly what I was thinking.
Then we get our usual hater. You people are acting like they're going to a national championship or something. Maybe there'll be more people at game day than the football game. Well, that won't happen for sure.
Wow. Jeez.
It is the biggest day in Memphis football. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger.
Can't the SEC fans, and you know who you are, and there's many, many of them, and that's fine. You're an alum of Tennessee or Ole Miss or Alabama or Mississippi State or Arkansas or whatever. You can't let the Tigers have their day? Really? You got to be negative about it? Yes, it is almost like a championship, because guess what? In the way it's set up, you can't get to a championship. You can't get to a playoff when you're playing in the group of 5. And this is extremely important. It's extremely important not only for the image, for recruits, for everything, for the city, and then, of course, the game, the importance of the damn game, of winning and grabbing the division lead and now having to be able to control your own destiny to get to the championship game.
See, somebody texts us,
of the conference.
The parking will need to be addressed without a doubt. I want to go, but the parking concerns me. No, I mean, parking's not going to be an issue. Like, all of those lots in downtown are empty on Saturday mornings.
Right.
Like, this is the easiest time you could ever find a park in downtown Memphis.
Well,
like you got and where they're doing, I mean, you got lots all around that area.
I'm curious how much they're going to charge for parking.
This isn't 60,000 people going to this thing. Like it's a couple of thousand people at most. Like that. It's so parking will not be an issue at all.
No, but that's what that person, and I don't want to speak for that person. I don't know, and they might send another text to correct me, but they may be what Austin just brought up, more concerned with paying for parking as opposed to free parking. There are a lot of lots, but you got to be willing to spend the money.
Well, they're not going to charge you $100 to park.
I know, but gosh, how many times do we hear, like, we want to go to the Tigers game, but boy, we don't want to pay the $20 for parking. That's $20. That's not $2,000. Now, as long as they don't stick there and gouge you, Austin, I think you were kind of referring to that. What are they going to charge? All of a sudden, they're going to open up all the lots around Beale Street and go, hey, it's $25, $30 to park. As long as they don't do that, and it's the normal, $5 for parking, 10 at the most. I mean, or you can find a meter along one of the streets in downtown.
I can't imagine how they do that because it becomes a supply and demand thing. Like there's going to be an overabundance of parking spots that morning. So you go, okay, you're going to try and charge me $25. I can go find cheaper.
Yeah, but how many thousand people do you believe will come to game day?
A couple.
That's it?
Yeah.
What do they normally get?
You're getting out there at like 6 in the morning.
But they do that every week. And what do they normally get? I thought they got like 10,000 people at these places.
Well, I mean, I don't know what the normal crowd is, but it's also like a lot of times it's done on the places where it's done on campus. I mean, and out these bigger schools, I mean, you get a ton of students that just roll out there. All they get is get out of bed and walk down there at whatever time.
Here's the good thing. If I read this correctly, a tweet that AD Laird Veach and the university is going to supply some buses that will go from the school to downtown and back to the school. We'll ask Steve Macy about that, but I believe that there's going to be transportation available to get people down there. At least students.
Somebody says the FedEx Forum parking garage is going to be $10. Somebody says watching game day at home, but we'll be at the game. Go Tigers. Raider Corey texted, says 8 men are primarily responsible for making Saturday possible, in my opinion. Tommy West's heartfelt plea to invest in the football program, President Rudd, Tom Bowen, Justin Fuente, Mike Norvell, Anthony Miller, Darrell Henderson, Paxton Lynch, Riley Ferguson. No love for Brady White.
Gabe Kuhn.
Where's the love for Brady White?
Our very own Gabe Kuhn.
Brady White's the current quarterback.
Come on.
If they weren't,
you're going to lose that argument every time.
But if you're not good this year, you wouldn't get game day.
How about Kenneth Gainwell?
It's fine, all those, but you have to be good this year. Yeah, why not Gainwell and Brady White? Because if you weren't good this year, it wouldn't matter. They're not getting game day if they've got 3 wins right now.
I'll forgive Raider Corey for not acknowledging my part in all of this. I was behind the scenes. I get all that. So.
Somebody says, ask, and we will ask Steve Macy this. What are the Tigers wanting the fans to wear Saturday night? Gray, blue, white? Do you know if you could find out? I don't think they're doing any sort of white out, blue out, black out.
Why not?
That I know of, but we will ask Steve Macy. I have not seen or heard them, doing anything like that. But we will ask Steve when he comes on and see if there is any certain color that they're asking folks to wear.
I hope they wear their normal, like their school colors, and not one of these gray or all white. Or something
a lot of the players have tweeted out they want to wear black.
Well, the black would be fine,
which is not a school color. However, as far as a white out, black out, whatever, gray out, I love that when they do that at stadiums. When Penn State has that white out, it's incredible. So yes, as you said, we'll ask Steve Macy and try to get an answer for that. But I have not read anything on social media about that yet as well.
Somebody signed this sign idea. I'd rather eat a McRib than Texas barbecue. Yeah, there has to be some shots at Texas barbecue with SMU being the opponent. There's no doubt.
I like that.
I'm sure we're going to see some kind of shots at their old scandal from back in the day, I would imagine.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll take the high road here on the death penalty.
Oh, no? Come on.
Taking the high road in anything.
Memphis first everybody, Greg. They're not taking the high road.
There's going to be so many young people out there. Now they'll probably learn a little bit about it, but had no idea what the hell SMU's history was all about.
So he says, tell the Tennessee fans if they play Memphis, maybe they'd be able to get to go to game day.
Ouch.
Somebody says there was a line on the Ole Miss campus at 4:30 a.m. Since it was in the Grove, as people left, more people would filter in. Not sure how it'll work on Beale Street. Was that thing at Ole Miss? I mean, you were in the Grove, and was that?
I was there.
The game was the 2:30 game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people were already in the Grove tailgating for the game as well. Like you weren't, so you were just there. Like everybody's there because the game's coming up. So you're there for that. And then, I mean, obviously not all at 4:30.
And it's on campus.
But people arrived early to go to that. But you also had people just getting there tailgating for the game. Here, it's a completely different situation.
Right. You had the combination of tailgating and students that are on campus. Here, this is not on campus. Obviously, there's not tailgating going on Beale Street. But here's the thing. At least there's a huge time difference between game day and the game. So there's no, we got to get to the game. We're going to be late. We can't go to game day. I mean, there's no excuses there because game day and the game are so far apart that you can take your time, go back home, do what you need to do, run some errands, and then get ready to go to the game that will start at 6:30. We need to take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Search Sports 56 on Facebook and give us a like. And follow us on Twitter at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Sundays and Mondays are special at the Butcher Shop, celebrating over 35 years of serving the Mid-South by giving a big thank you to you, their loyal customers. You can come in, relax, watch your favorite games, and enjoy hand-cut steaks along with a premium bar. Sunday and Monday nights from 5 until 8:30, you can get select entrees for $25. That includes a salad, baked potato, and bread, and you don't have to pick one, you get all 3. Some of those entrees are 10-ounce New York strip steak, slow roasted prime rib, Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, marinated grilled chicken breast, grilled boneless pork chops, and crab stuffed shrimp. Plus, all appetizers and desserts are 20% off. Don't forget, Hamburger Friday every Friday from 11 to 2. It's the best. The Butcher Shop, always a Memphis tradition. Call 901-757-4244, 901-757-4244 for more information, or just stop in at 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
Williams Equipment and Supply, your Bobcat loader and excavator dealer, is #1 in compact construction equipment. With the highest market share, the largest inventory of equipment, attachments, and parts, the largest compact rental fleet, and the best technicians and the most locations, Williams Equipment is the undisputed leader. Find out why more people buy, lease, and rent Bobcat equipment from Williams Equipment than any other brand.
This is Cody Bumpus, your Bobcat specialist of North Mississippi. Call me for a demonstration and a finance quote at 901-508-8739.
Sundays and Mondays are special at the Butcher Shop, celebrating over 35 years of serving the Mid-South by giving a big thank you to you, their loyal customers. You can come in, relax, watch your favorite games, and enjoy hand-cut steaks along with a premium bar. Sunday and Monday nights from 5 until 8:30, you can get select entrees for $25. That includes a salad, baked potato, and bread, and you don't have to pick one, you get all 3. Some of those entrees are 10-ounce New York strip steak, slow roasted prime rib, Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, marinated grilled chicken breast, grilled boneless pork chops, and crab stuffed shrimp. Plus, all appetizers and desserts are 20% off. Don't forget, Hamburger Friday every Friday from 11 to 2. It's the best. The Butcher Shop, always a Memphis tradition. Call 901-757-4244, 901-757-4244 for more information, or just stop in at 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx.
Here once again
are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Let's do it.
So some other sign ideas. Paul texted. He says, mine is Sonny Dykes still pays his players.
Told you. See, what I tell you, I just said it.
What'd he say?
Sonny Dykes still pays his players. Somebody's already taken a shot.
Somebody else says
still pays his players.
Mine will say, I'd rather be on Tiger Lane, Maine. There will be a lot of Maines. There will be a lot of Maines.
Us and Maine don't really go together, I don't think.
There will be a lot of Maines, I would imagine, on some signs. Somebody says they should have a lot of leftover drunks from Friday night. They'll be ready.
Oh, they'll be intermingled in the crowd.
I mean, there's places on Beale Street that stay open regularly till 5 a.m. So you can, I don't know if they'll just keep staying open or what they're going to do, but yeah, there's places on Beale Street where people stay out till 5 a.m. as it is. So if they want to stay down there, by all means, have fun.
That noise you heard, by the way, was a car backfiring.
Raider Corey says, let me fix this. I was trying to say those gentlemen laid the foundation for our resurgence in football. Of course, Brady White and Kenneth Gainwell deserve a ton of credit.
They all deserve credit because you're right. If they're not 7-1, if they didn't beat Tulsa, whether it was divine intervention or what, they're not in this position to host game day because they're not coming here.
We should also thank, what's his name? Jacob Rainey? What's his name?
Oh, the kicker from Tulsa? Poor kid.
Yeah, we all should. Jacob Rainey, Raider Corey, add Jacob Rainey to your list because he had a chance to beat both of these teams. If he makes those 2 field goals, there's not even a chance of game day being here.
Will there be a Jacob Rainey sign saluting Jacob Rainey?
There probably will be. I feel bad for the kid.
Okay, so last night I went on Twitter, as did a number of people, and we kind of threw out names for the possibility of being the guest picker. And Penny Hardaway is certainly one who wants this to happen because he was on with Wolo in the pregame on the radio broadcast and in the postgame, and he was telling Wolo to help him out. And Wolo's like, yeah, I'll talk to some people. I don't know if Wolo knows anybody involved with the ESPN game day deal, but Penny really wants to do it. And I said, listen, I was down at Ole Miss for Katy Perry. And if you get an A-lister, an absolute A-lister entertainer, more power to you. And
Are you a Katy fanboy, Greg?
No, but she's easy on the eyes. She looked great down in Oxford. But and Woody Harrelson was there, by the way. But if you can get somebody who's associated with this city and happens to be an A-lister entertainer, and that's one guy, and that's Justin Timberlake. I don't know his schedule. I don't know if you can get him. But if you can get him, that's who you get. After that,
there's no doubt.
After that, in my opinion, even though he's basketball, and some argue, no, you got to get D'Angelo Williams. D'Angelo was an unbelievable player for us, and he wouldn't be a bad choice. But it's Penny. It's Penny because Penny is known not only nationally, he's known internationally. He's the guy. There are others that would be fine. Certainly, if you want to go the music route, I don't know if the Reverend Al Green gets out to these type of things anymore, but, one of the greats of all time, or you can go with any of the rappers from 3 6 Mafia or any of the hip-hop guys. But I think after Timberlake, Penny, then it's okay. You're fine with Jerry Lawler. You're fine with Yo Gotti. You're fine with any of those guys. But I think it's Penny Hardaway as my second choice behind Timberlake for those reasons. Because, again, basketball season is upon us. Memphis is nationally ranked. ESPN, I think they cover a little basketball as well. He is right now a guy who could run for mayor and win in Memphis. He is an international and national brand. So it's not too shabby right there to have him as a guest picker. But again, Timberlake is off the charts. He's your number one guy.
Yeah, the thing, I don't know, if they have any reservations at all about doing somebody who works at the school. We've said they've done it with Pitino. They did it with Pitino in the past. I don't know if that matters to them at all. If they would rather have somebody that, doesn't currently work at the school, but I have no idea on that. I still would not be surprised if you would see a Jimmy Smits.
He's not in Memphis. He just happens to work in Memphis right now for a couple of weeks.
They want the biggest name they can get. They don't care. It doesn't have to be a Memphis person for them. ESPN's doing a television show. They can just do the biggest name.
Is that right? I thought you had to be associated either with the school or with the city or with the state. Like last week, it was John Goodman.
He is associated with the city right now. He's in the city doing a TV show.
Well, let's go to the airport. Maybe somebody's on a layover and they're a big name and we can go ahead and grab them and pull them in. No, I think it has to have some association with the city. I really do. All right, when we come back, Humdinger's Trivia and Drew Hill in studio.
He's from South Memphis. Went to the University of Memphis. If you saw last night's episode, he did not play football because the way he throws a football is embarrassing.
That's right. I forgot that he did go to the University of Memphis. Then Memphis State, I believe. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
If you're someone that enjoys a truly great steak, then there's only one choice for you downtown. 117 Prime. 117 Prime has lots of different things on the menu, but the main attraction is the steaks. Prepared by chefs that love a great steak, you can choose from the 5 or 10 ounce fillets, the 16-ounce prime, the 8-ounce top sirloin cap culotte, or the 14-ounce New York strip, or the king of them all, the 24-ounce dry-aged porterhouse. You heard that right, 24 ounces of the best steak you've ever tasted. If you're craving steak, then head downtown to the steak experts. Head to Prime.
In today's evolving workplace, XMC understands the process of getting office work done has moved from the desktop to your pocket. The new Xerox multifunctional printers and Connect Key app technology are game changers. Are you working with confidential information? Does it need to be secure from unwanted threats? Do you need to translate documents to another language? Xerox's App Gallery provides solutions like secure printing and easy translator technology. XMC is the second largest exclusive Xerox agent in the U.S. with 9 locations to serve you. We've been in business for over 25 years and have received top awards from Xerox. In changing our world one experience at a time, our team's committed to doing what's right for your business. XMC is proud to be your leader in document and print management, and it'd be our pleasure to serve you. Contact XMC today at 888-814-3114 or visit our website at xmcinc.com. XMC, Excellence in Office Solutions.
Hi, I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. 30% of Americans who are planning home improvements of $5,000 or more will pay for those renovations with a high-interest credit card. That may not be a great idea. A better idea may be to take cash out of your home with a Quicken Loans 30-year fixed-rate mortgage. The rate today on our 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is 3.99%, APR 4.08%. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate subject to change. Pay 1.25% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. License in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
Hey, Tiger fans, this is John Stacy of the Blue and Gray Show. You can hear Drew Barrett and I talk Tigers with Tigers every Sunday at 5 right here on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Drew, who do we got in the studio with us this week?
John and I are joined in studio this week by my favorite Tiger of all time, Joe Doss, as we recap the ABC primetime game against SMU, talk the college game day experience on Beale Street, and get you ready for a road test at Houston.
Thanks, Drew. We'll be here Sunday on Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Little Lionel Richie never hurt anybody. Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, Sports 56 Middays,
Sure
11 o'clock is the time. What's that?
Sure that's not the Beastie Boys?
Hey, I was right, though. They did a remake of it. That's where I know that song from.
Maybe they did a remake of All Night Long, too. I don't know.
We'll ask Drew Hill who plays it. We'll play the song for him, and then we'll ask him. Sports 56 Middays delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, FedEx. Streamline your e-commerce business so you can focus on growing sales and strengthening customer relationships. Learn more at fedex.com/e-commerce. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Austin Eldridge. We are in the Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
It is time for our Humdingers Trivia. Your opportunity to win a $25 gift card to Humdingers by answering our trivia question correctly via text at 67129. Of course, over at Humdingers today, it's Taco Tuesday. That means their chicken and fish tacos, just $2 each. Those are absolutely delicious, as is everything on the menu over there. Lots of great items from the grilled fish items, menu items with all the different kinds, plus chicken items. You've got salads. You've got all kinds of stuff, sandwiches as well, and of course those tacos, but a lot of healthy items, very inexpensive as well over at Humdinger's at Poplar and Massey. You can check out the full menu at their website, humdingersrestaurant.com. And again, if you answer today's trivia question correctly, you get a $25 gift card to Humdinger's. And text in those answers to 67129, 67129. So here is today's question. With baseball, Game 6 of the World Series coming up this evening. This has a little baseball theme to it. And with this go, it has a music theme to it as well, Greg. Who is the only musician that has been honored by the Baseball Hall of Fame? Who is the only musician to be honored by the Baseball Hall of Fame? Text in your answer 67129. The first to get it right gets that $25 gift card to Humdinger's.
Drew Hills, the Memphis Tigers basketball beat writer for the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at DrewHill_DM. He joins us in studio. All right, ask him. Don't say the artist. What was the song again that we played yesterday?
It's Tricky.
It's Tricky. Who sang It's Tricky?
He's too young.
Guys, I'm 24
He's too
years
young.
old.
He doesn't. That's before his time.
Oh my gosh! I forget how young he is.
But if you said the Beastie Boys, which I'm assuming is what he said, I would probably just be like, sure, I agree with you.
I remember It's Tricky, but then somebody texted and said they did the remake, the original
Run DMC.
Run
did it
DMC.
Oh, okay.
But it's the first cassette I ever bought, so that's well before his time.
All right, before we get into the hoops, and there's some questions as we get ready for the season opener a week from tonight. Game day, I know, especially you living down in that area, you're fired up for this thing, right? It's going to be a long day for you, but you're fired up, right?
Yes, I'm super pumped. I think Memphis is going to bring a great crowd. I actually did a story yesterday with Reese Davis. He went to Alabama, so we both were in the communications school. I got to know him a little bit in college, and then afterwards, last year when he had the Penny Hardaway quote that was somewhat controversial, and then this year, obviously game day's on his way here. They're really pumped about it. They're super excited about the fact that it's on Beale Street because they have really not, besides Times Square, they really haven't done any really unique venues sort of like this. I think it's going to look amazing on TV. I think it was the right decision to put it on Beale Street. If you could. I was very suspect. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it because based off the eyeball test, it looks like the stage is just going to be way too wide to fit there, I think that's why they're doing it in the intersection. But no, it's going to look awesome on TV, and I really hope people come to it because it's definitely an experience just being there. Even in commercials, they play music, and the guys on stage on the show interact with you, and it's a cool experience.
How many have you been to?
I think I've been to 4 in my lifetime. Yeah.
Do they ever have
at Alabama?
No, one. I actually went. Kentucky hosted it when they had Tebow in town, and I was a kid. And and just no one ever in the state, and I didn't really care who won the game. But it was awesome because my dad was working for Insight, which was an old media company back in the day, and we got a VIP tour because of the company's connections with ESPN of the bus and everything.
Right,
it was awesome. It was really cool.
Do you think the delay, and I think it's pretty obvious, was because the school wanted it on Tiger Lane or actually on campus as opposed to Beale Street, or was it strictly because of logistics that it took all the way until yesterday early afternoon to get this thing finalized?
I don't have an actual answer to that, to be honest, but I'm sure it was logistics. Like, it's just tough to get this thing planned out. And after, reading everything that's come out about it since then, it's they have to deal with the traffic lights on Beale Street and how they're going to redirect traffic and the 5K or whatever else is down there that day. It just was probably a lot to have to put together.
Yeah, a lot more police involved in this type of game day as opposed to others on campus because you're shutting down an intersection, a very busy intersection.
The what time do you know? Like, when do they start setting up?
Usually. In Tuscaloosa, it was on as early as Tuesday, but I've heard that it's going to be that the trucks are going to arrive on Wednesday.
Okay.
this week.
So they're going to have to shut down that intersection for multiple days?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because Friday 100%. They do stuff from there.
They do, yeah.
Friday they'll do Sports
Friday
Center
they
stuff.
do Sports Center. I think even on Thursday they do college football live from there or something.
Wow, how about that? Do they do other things? Obviously, it's a football show, but I was asking this earlier because the only time I ever watch game day is the last 15 minutes when they're making picks and then Corso puts the head thing on. But do they have other entertainment? Because I was thinking, boy, Mark Cohn would be perfect on this one with, the Beale Street song.
Yeah, no, I mean, kind of like basically the way, if you're talking about like the way that the show goes from beginning to end, they usually start out, they do the big crowd pan and they get the crowd going for like the hour leading up to it because people will be out there really early.
Oh, yeah.
And so, they'll get the crowd going and then they usually do a segment on the game that's there in the early window. Then they will have a feature. Usually, my guess is it's probably going to be about SMU.
Yeah,
After talking to Reese,
there's no doubt they'll have a big one on
SMU, let's be honest, is a huge storyline for college football.
That is the big
30
reason
on
why
them.
it's here.
Right.
That is the big reason why it's here. I think people understand that.
Yeah, so I think that there will be a big feature maybe on that, maybe potentially on Kenny Gainwell. I mean, we never know. It's just a guess. But,
Sure.
And then they'll talk about other college football stuff in pretty much every other segment. And then they do the picks at the end. Yeah. But in the commercials and stuff, they're bumping music. It's a big production. There's 2 giant TVs on either side. Sometimes they play like little videos in between breaks. And the guys get up, like Lee Corso will get up and talk to the crowd. Or
and that's because somebody had texted earlier. They said that one of the worries about Beale Street was that people there wouldn't be enough people to be able to get close enough to the stage. And I said, if you're not close enough to the stage, it doesn't matter.
You don't get that close to the stage anyway, if we're being honest.
It just doesn't matter. It's like a concert. There's going to be, like you said, the big screens, there's speakers. You're going to get the experience whether you're right next to it or you're farther back.
Right. William texted in and said, is it going to be a Tiger Lane or downtown? I guess late to the party, but William, yes, it will be downtown. It'll be right there at the intersection where Silky's is. So I guess the personalities will have their backs to the river and going uphill, shooting uphill. So it's going to be epic. Drew will be there. Hopefully thousands will be there, and Memphis will look fantastic. Memphis basketball did not look fantastic last night. They did not look fantastic, at least in the first half against CBU. And the dress rehearsals are now over, Drew. So what's the issue? I read one of your tweets last night. I wasn't there for Penny's presser. He says, obviously I have to make some changes because these 2 games have been an eye-opener for us.
Yeah, I think just in general, he did a lot more directing last night than he did even in the first game. His patience level is going to be tested by this young team. That's just the way that these things go. This happens with all the other teams that are filled with freshmen across the country. And he said this is kind of where he expected his team to be, but at the same time, he thought they'd be a little bit further along, especially when it comes to rebounding, because they're so talented and they're pretty long and athletic, yet rebounding has been a major problem. They get out-rebounded by CBU. They give up 23 offensive rebounds last night to Lemoyne, that's been nowhere near where he wants it to be. And it's a little concerning to me. I don't know if it is to you guys, that he's saying he's going to be making changes right before the beginning of the season when they've already had this trip to the Bahamas and 2 exhibition games. I think that the changes are probably going to be that he's going to simplify things, which would make a lot of sense at this point. But it's going to take him a little bit longer maybe than they thought to get this whole thing put together.
When you look at this, Quinones, 1 for 10 for 3-point range in these 2 exhibition games. He is supposed to be this great shooter, and shooting, whether it's an exhibition game or whatever, you should shoot.
And played the most minutes.
Should there be concern there? The guy, and Tyler Harris is 2 for 10. So 2 of your supposed best shooters are combined 3 for 20 from 3-point range in these 2 games.
Yeah, no, there's some concern there, I would say, but at the same time, those guys, they're gonna bounce back. They're great shooters. Eventually those shots are gonna go in. You hope that it's kind of just first couple game jitters and it'll be out of their system, but No, I don't think there's total panic at all based off of what those two guys have done so far. I think it's more like they need to play tougher and they need to rebound better, and that's where they stand.
Rebounding's effort. I mean, you could sit there and simplify things and go through more practices. It's effort. It's getting to the spot, beating your guy to the spot. And you give up offensive rebounds to Lemoyne Owen, you were out-rebounded by CBU. Yeah, that's an issue that needs to be rectified in a very rapid fashion. But everybody believes, and rightly so, that when you have your pillar in there, James Wiseman, it will make everybody around him better. One, do you believe that? And two, what the heck is going on with James Wiseman?
Yes, I believe it'll make everybody better. He makes up for a lot of mistakes on the defensive end. It allows for you to gamble a little bit more, and I think they've been gambling a little bit too much so far.
Right.
Through these first two exhibition games. That was something Boogie Ellis pointed out. And yes, I do think it's going to make them a lot better. In terms of what's going on with James Wiseman, Penny Hardaway said that it was his ankle again last night. I'm at the point now where if he doesn't play in this first game, I'm going to be concerned that maybe he hasn't been cleared by the NCAA or some sort of thing like that. I'm not saying that that's the case. Like, I'm not, just to be very clear, I'm not reporting that. Yeah. I'm just saying if he's not playing, I'm going to be concerned because after what I saw yesterday, him running around, jumping, cutting, dunking, I'm going to be a little bit worried about that because it looks an awful lot like he could play. And so in terms of the injury, I'm not concerned really at all.
Well, that thing, I mean, I guess I could understand how like it's an exhibition game, like we know what he is, like. But right. Yeah, if you start like sitting out regular season games when you're able to do that stuff in pregame warmups, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, no, that's just how I feel right now. And again, I'm not reporting that. I'm just saying if he's not playing, then I don't think it has anything to do with his ankle. It's either he doesn't want to play or he can't really play.
Well, it's an interesting point you bring up because keeping him out of two exhibition games, even if he's close to 100% and he looked good, I saw the same warm-ups you did, that's one thing. I mean, this is James Wiseman. He could be the number one overall pick in the NBA draft. That's understandable. But when they roll out the ball on Tuesday, and albeit South Carolina State, you should be able to win with blindfolds on, and he's not out there, I think it is concerning. Now, whether it's something about eligibility, I mean, who knows? But I'm a little worried about when you have guys that are projected lottery picks, and in this case, maybe the number one overall pick, that you kind of pick and choose when they're going to play, and maybe who knows what's coming from his camp. And that's a little worrisome when you're dealing with guys that are this high caliber.
Yeah, I right now, I think there's no reason to panic. Like, this happened, if it were to be that, this has happened in the past. Like, when I was at Alabama, they had Colin Sexton. It took Colin Sexton a little bit of time to get cleared to be able to play his season. This has happened in the past with high-profile players all the time. So if that is the case, it probably also doesn't mean like that the season's over and he's never going to play. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think that there's any reason to totally freak out. But like you said, and I'll repeat it again, if he's not in that first game, I don't think it has to do with his ankle at this point. Like, it's going to be hard to sell me on that.
When you see Precious, in these two exhibition games, and the slow start against CBU, but then second half, and then last night he puts up big numbers again. You start seeing what Precious is doing. You start thinking like, gosh, those two guys alongside each other on that front line, like that's the athleticism and size alone are just, that's overwhelming for college teams. That'd be overwhelming for some NBA teams with the way they are now. But you put those two guys next to each other, that they're just, college teams can't handle that.
Yeah, no, they should dominate. They in general, I think this is part of the reason why they're so frustrated with the first couple of games, because they should be better than this. Because physically they are better than this. A lot of people are excited about Precious Achiuwa. I don't want to take away anything that he's done, but the competition that he's played against, he is 10 times bigger than anybody else on the floor. He's doing exactly what he should be doing. So that's good to see, which is dominating. I want to see what they look like when they go up against guys who are the same size as them, because there's probably not going to be a lot of teams much bigger. As you mentioned.
Well, that's the thing, but yeah, and he's doing that, but he's doing that without Wiseman next to him. When you throw Wiseman next to him, like, how many teams in America have two guys that can try and possibly match that size?
Achua will be the beneficiary of having Wiseman out there, but I think the one that will really be the beneficiary is DJ Jeffries. He will be. I really think he's that guy. But Eli's point is well taken. I mean, how do you defend when you have that front line? That's going to be scary. But in the backcourt, it's interesting because you threw out the numbers about the three-point shooting, which has not been great. Although Boogie last night had a good game shooting the ball. It seems pretty apparent. Last night, Damian Ball did not play because of concussion protocol. He returns today to practice. It seems pretty apparent that Damian Ball is your point guard and maybe Alex Lomax is your backup point guard. That Boogie, Canonez, anybody else in the backcourt's playing the two. Would you agree?
Yes, and I think that's something that Boogie is starting to kind of have to adjust to, because I know a lot of the talk, and this was brought up last night in the press conference, a lot of the talk was about him playing point guard and, kind of what adjustments he's going to have to make to go from being the scoring guard in high school to point guard. Well, he came out and just said, well, I played a ton of point guard in my high school ball, maybe not in AAU, but in my high school ball, I played a ton of point guard. So it's actually been an adjustment for me to play off the ball as opposed to on it. And I think part of the prevailing theory when Boogie Ellis committed to Memphis was if he's going to make it to the next level, he's going to have to play point guard. But he's not, at this point, he's not really playing point guard. I think that at full strength, though, and playing the way that Penny wants them to play, point guard doesn't really matter. This is a point I made in my season preview, which is especially if they're playing three guards, it gives them the chance to let anybody bring the ball up the floor, and it's a way to kind of keep everybody happy because, as we know from just pickup ball, everybody wants to be point guard. So I think that that's really the direction that they would like to go, is to just have whoever gets the ball, push it up the floor, and score in transition every single time. Then you don't have to even worry about that role. But in the half court, yes, Alex and Damian look like they're the 2 point guards.
So let's say Wiseman is good to go. What will be the starting lineup Tuesday?
I think it will likely be Damian Ball, Boogie Ellis, DJ Jeffries, Precious Achua, and James Wiseman. And I don't know if that was even what it was going to be going into the first exhibition game. And DJ didn't shoot the ball particularly well last night, but I think from what he showed you in the Bahamas and there, it would make a lot of sense to have him in the starting lineup. But I would not be surprised if it was Canonez instead of him, and you've still got 5 freshmen in there either way, except one way you kind of have 3 guards, and the other you have a traditional a wing and 2 forwards and 2 guards.
See, I like the lineup that you mentioned there, but I think he really likes Canonez's size. And again, last night he didn't shoot the ball well. He played the most minutes on the team. I think he likes to have a big guard in there with, if it's Damian Ball, who's not short, but he's not big. Canonez is big. And we'll see if that's the case. But obviously these guys are going to be interchangeable. There's going to be a lot of guys getting in. What have you seen from Lance Thomas?
Yeah, he's struggled a little bit in these first 2 games. I think he's much better than that. Penny got asked about him last night, and he brought up the blocks. If he's done one thing well, he's been a good rim protector. I think he has 7 blocks in the 2 preseason games. So those are pluses. He looked a lot better in the Bahamas than he did in these 2 exhibition games, I would say. He's still kind of a mystery, right? He didn't play a lot of minutes at Louisville. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he plays for Memphis during the regular season. I think the rotation might shorten up a little bit. He has the length to do that. He's just not really the quick twitch guy that, Precious is. He's kind of more of a stretch 4 and not a guy that's going to take you to the basket, if he's camping out of the 3-point line. They need to get him more outside shots. Penny mentioned that too last night, because one of his biggest strengths is shooting, and he will help you space the floor if you have a guy like Wiseman or Achua in there playing the 5. But Yeah, no, he has not been particularly impressive through the first 2 games.
But again, you think about just that size you get to bring in off the bench.
It's crazy.
It's just, let's go get another 6'8", 6'9" guy, throw him out there.
Yeah.
And especially when you get some of these early season games against some of these teams, and then even in the conference too, some of these teams just they would fall all over themselves to have one guy like that on their team, some 6'9" guy who could step out and shoot threes and protect the rim for them. And Memphis just lined up with them.
And Isaiah Stokes is still a possibility. We don't know what the NCAA will do. I mean, personally, I think they should redshirt him for next year, but he could be.
A lot of these guys that have come home have gotten cleared. A lot of the guys.
Do you expect that?
I don't know if I expect it, because you can never expect what the NCAA.
That's true.
Because half the stuff they do doesn't make any damn sense. So.
They are handing out these waivers though, like it's nothing.
I know.
It's like anything is good for a waiver anymore.
Right. So maybe that's a possibility. Maybe you get him down low.
Do you expect a sellout Tuesday? It's not a great opponent, but it's the first real game with this heralded class. What do you expect?
I don't know. I don't know. I think it'll depend. Maybe it'll depend on how the football team is doing. Everybody wants to go to the football games right now.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. Well, let me ask you this first. Any idea of where they are with ticket sales, season ticket sales?
In terms of
I guess we could ask Macy. He's coming on. Yeah.
Yeah. He's the best guy to ask. But they do. I had talked to Macy a couple. I want to say a week ago, and he said Macy told me that they still had a few left that they were still trying to get rid of. But who knows? Those could be gone by now.
The reason I bring that up is the Saturday, and we'll see what it ends up being Saturday. But this is. I was saying it on Twitter, and I was saying it on the show earlier today that. This will really show the true Memphis football fandom Saturday night. We know what's on the line. The weather's going to be fine, all this stuff. So we'll know.
It's going to be chilly.
It's chilly, but it's going to be clear. As long as it's not raining. You put a jacket on. You put a sweater on. You know what I'm saying? If it's raining, I understand. It's don't go out. It's raining. It's a snowstorm, a tornado, God forbid. But it's chilly, okay? That's football weather in the north. I know it's a little bit different here in the south. But I don't think that'll keep people away. They know the importance of this game, how to look good. They need to look good nationally. So if they get the crowd that they're hoping to get, combined with the Tuesday crowd, you would think for opening night for the Tigers, that's probably one of the largest crowds, back-to-back football, basketball combinations that they've had.
Something I want to point out, and you guys can mention this, to maybe you can ask Macy about this. I think it would be great if they could get the fans who sit sort of up towards the top in the Liberty Bowl to come down, especially on the visitor side, which is on TV, because a lot of these crowds are very big on the home side.
I know.
And then the cameras face the away side, and not everybody is sitting down low on the away side, and they're a little spread out, and so it doesn't look as full as it actually is.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
I mean, everybody wants to sit on that home side, and I don't know if they want to let them just move down to those chair backs, because then it becomes the issue. Well, why would anybody ever buy the chair backs on the visitor side if you could buy the one up top and just come down and sit in the chair back? So they deal with that stuff. But I'm with you. Yeah, you'd want as much of that lower portion full as possible. Judging by the basketball, they've announced the attendance at 15 and change these 2 exhibition games. I'm going to guess season tickets are about 14,000 because there's no single game tickets. There isn't a bunch of single game tickets for these. I don't know what the number is they add on to it for all of the media and all that stuff, but I'm going to guess that they're about 14,000 on season tickets.
Well, we got Macy coming up next. We're going to ask him 1,000 questions, and I'm not a marketing genius or anything like that, but I would look at what they have left for Tuesday as far as basketball tickets and combine it with football tickets for Saturday and put a little package together. You go to the football game and the basketball game, try to get the sellout Tuesday if you're a little short, and more people over at Liberty Bowl Stadium. We know Drew will be there. We know he'll be at game day on Saturday morning, and then, of course, covering the Tigers basketball team all season long. Drew, great stuff. Really appreciate it, man.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
If I don't see you before Saturday, behave yourself.
Yeah, well, I'll be good. I'll be working. Business day, business trip.
Drew Hill, Memphis Tigers basketball beat writer from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at DrewHill_DM. Steve Macy is next. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
The Peter Edmiston Experience with CJ Hurt. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Only on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
I almost never go to Central Barbecue without running into somebody I know.
That could be because you only eat at Central Barbecue.
It's because Central Barbecue is where Memphians go to get barbecue and has consistently been voted the most popular barbecue restaurant among locals.
Actually, that's really saying something.
I know. Memphis is the nation's capital of barbecue. With all the choices, people who live here go to Central Barbecue.
They do get their share of tourists.
Sure, because Central Barbecue has been mentioned on TV and in tons of national publications. You know why?
Because of the great food?
Because those TV shows and magazines look for the place where the locals go, and that, my friend, is Central Barbecue.
You'll see the dedication in every single step. You'll see it in the smiles, when smiles are hard to get. You'll see it in the little things that add up to success. The caring and passion are the things that we love best.
Wolf Chase Lemon Brace is your Mid-South provider for orthotics and prosthetics. They are an ABC-accredited facility, and their practitioners are ABC certified. At Wolf Chase Lemon Brace, their services include artificial limbs, legs and arms, braces of all kinds, and custom molded inserts. You can call them today at 901-507-7821 for their location on Highway 64 in between Germantown Parkway and Appling Road, or visit them at their new location in Jackson, Tennessee. That number is 731-660-5900, or visit them on the web at wolfchaselemonbrace.com.
Dedicated our life to yours. Wolf Chase Lim and Brace.
This is Carl on his motorcycle.
Let's ride till we run out of gas.
And this is Carl off his motorcycle.
Balsa wood is very different than teak. People confuse the two.
On his motorcycle.
Hey, check out that view!
Off his motorcycle.
Let's do puzzles in the break room.
On.
Look at all that open road!
Off.
Look how long my fingernails are getting.
You're better on your bike. Progressive helps keep you on it. Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
In this corner is Bob, the Beast of Bar Graphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
It's game on at the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can bet on all of your favorite sports and watch the games on 60 HD TVs while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beers, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games every sports fan will love. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book, and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials. Or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi.
This is Jason Mott. Join me November 9th downtown at the Column for our 8th annual Jason Mott Foundation Cornhole Challenge. Doors open at 6. For tickets and more information, click the events tab at jasonmottfoundation.org. Looking forward to seeing you out there, and let's strike out cancer.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 11:30 is the time, halfway home on this Tuesday edition of Middays. And the second hour of our program is brought to you by Gold Strike Casino Resort and the new Moneyline Book Bar and Grill, the South's premier sports entertainment venue inside the Gold Strike Casino Resort. Now you can wager on all of your favorite sports at one of 10 betting kiosks located throughout the resort. And you watch the games on 60 HD screens while you lounge in plush seating and enjoy craft beer, signature cocktails, and great food. Plus, don't miss the Topgolf Swing Suite, a virtual reality experience with a variety of fun interactive games that every sports fan will love. And with a 50-foot bar, 16 video poker machines, and lively entertainment, Moneyline Book Bar and Grill is the South's only venue that brings together sports, gaming, dining, and nightlife into one exciting destination. Whether you're an avid sports fan or just looking for a special place to have a good time with friends, the state-of-the-art 6,000-square-foot setting is the place to be. Visit the Moneyline Bar, Book, and Grill at Gold Strike Casino Resort for Monday Night Football happy hour specials like they had last night, or anytime you want a piece of the best sports action in Mississippi. Time now to talk about the big week at the University of Memphis. The Tigers in the spotlight nationally. Steve Macy, the senior associate AD from the University of Memphis, is one of the busy folks over there at the U of M. but he carves out time each week to join us here on the program. You can follow him on Twitter at Steve Macy. Steve?
I think Steve dropped.
Steve dropped perfectly right with the introduction. He drops off. But we'll have him on here in just a second. And Steve will have a lot of questions that are going to be thrown at him about everything from logistics to attendance and to tickets. And he'll answer as many questions as he certainly can. Don't forget, coming up a little bit later on, Don Wade will join us for The Dish at 12 o'clock in studio. Connor O'Gara, senior national columnist from SaturdayDownSouth.com. He will join us to talk college football. We're going to talk a little NFL as well. The World Series resumes tonight. Got 2.5 questions. It's all coming up on Sports 56 Middays. By the way, the NBA, or make that the NFL trade deadline is today. So another busy sports day. I think we got Steve back on the line. I don't know what happened, but Steve joins us now. Again, you can follow Steve on Twitter at Steve Macy. Hey, Steve.
Hi, guys. I mean, I know it. I was trying to call you guys yesterday because I forgot what day it was. We've been doing so much, but I didn't think that meant you were going to hang up on me. So that's all right, though.
Oh,
I'll get over it.
That I don't know what happened there, but I don't know who hung up.
That was all you. Don't be trying to blame us. That was all you.
Well, listen, Steven, we know that this is an incredible week. I know you guys are fired up. It was interesting because it seemed as if Memphis was going to land game day, but then it kind of lingered all the way into Monday. Was that strictly just logistics?
It was, what's interesting was that I think we were pretty sure they were coming. We knew we had a meeting on Sunday around midday, and when we met with the ESPN folks on Sunday around 12:15, 12:20, one of the first questions that one of us asked was, okay, we're looking at some different sites, but you guys are coming? And the ESPN guys said, well, yeah, that's why we're here. We're not going anywhere else. And there was this little sly smile that all of us shared saying, holy crap, it's actually coming. And that was probably the coolest moment of this whole time, not necessarily which site they selected, but when they said, yeah, we're absolutely coming to Memphis, and we knew that game day was going to be here. That was one of the neatest moments I've had in my 4+ years here.
So going back to Saturday night, what was it like watching the end of that football game, knowing what was on the line?
That sucked. That definitely goes in the column of things that sucked. It was that moment of knowing what was on the line and that feeling of not knowing how it was going to work out and what the options were and how this could impact us. It was hard, and I think that there are some times in sports when luck plays a role, and sports are sports because anything can happen. And that was one of those moments where you felt like something was going to go one way, and it swung your way, and it was a pretty great feeling. I'm not even sure I was euphoric. It was more just absolute, complete, and total relief that this opportunity was still going to be available to us. It was awesome.
In the discussions for game day, once you knew it was apparent they were coming, and again, this is Sunday afternoon. You guys are dealing. We don't hear until Monday early afternoon. Were you guys fighting to have it on campus or on Tiger Lane, and they wanted on Beale, and then you had to compromise? How did that happen? What went down as far as that's concerned?
It's their show. We're there to assist them and give them some assistance with what's technically available, what's technically possible. They've got one of those little wheels out there trying to measure space and seeing what makes sense, and they ask about different buildings and what's this building, is there any significance? As they looked at 2 different campus sites, and really on campus they looked at a couple different spots. They looked at 2 different areas on Tiger Lane, and then they looked at Beale Street, and they conferred a couple times, and we met with them for quite a while on Sunday, then again on Monday morning, and then again Monday afternoon, while they determined and talked back to Bristol and made the decision that Beale Street was the best spot for them. And just in this a moment here to say thank you so much to the city of Memphis, because Thomas Carrier at the Liberty Bowl and then Mayor Strickland and Ken Moody, the support they gave to the university and ESPN that whatever they needed to make this happen here in the city of Memphis was second to none. And it continued today. I mean, Jeff Crane and I are just heading back from a meeting downtown with the city and a conference call with ESPN, and the level of cooperation from everybody, I think, shows why Memphis is so special, why we all love living here, and why stuff like this won't just continue to happen, but it's going to continue to happen with frequency.
All right, so there's some buses for students. Give us kind of the details for folks that want to go to game day, as far as what you guys are doing, where they park, all of that good stuff.
So we're working through some of those details, Eli. We've got a dedicated website that's being built right now that's going to have all those things. Okay. We've got a list of parking garages we just nailed down. We know that the pit's going to open at 5:30. We'll be announcing that. Shuttles that we will run will be restricted to campus personnel, including students. But there are basketball games at FedEx Forum all the time that have 15 to 18,000 people. They have Music Fest that has 25 or 30. Parking's not going to be an issue. There's ample parking downtown. So we feel really comfortable that the infrastructure in the city can handle whatever we need to handle on that side of it.
As far as the show is concerned, the 3-hour show, how much do they lean on you, or do they at all? Are they asking for certain things, or do they take care of it themselves?
They take care of almost all of it. Obviously, there's some security things that happen. There are band and cheerleaders. We have secured a mascot head that hopefully Lee Corso will put on his head and parade himself around a little bit. All of those things are being worked on. But there's a lot of logistics, where they park the semi-trucks, where their staff is going to park, where they're going to eat. They need an office space, they need internet, and they need phone lines. All of the typical things you would see with the major television production. All of those types of items are being worked on between ESPN, the university, and the city. The FedEx Forum staff has been awesome, and Dwight there has been awesome helping them to solidify some things. And it's going to be one of the coolest dang days any of us have ever been part of.
Have they invited Coach Norvell to be on set?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Coach Norvell will have an invitation to be part of that thing during the day. Those details of exactly when and what that looks like will still be coming. But yeah, Coach Norvell will be part of that. I imagine that they will want to talk to Coach Hardaway and some others as well, just being part of the Memphis culture. But yeah, this is an unbelievable opportunity for the city, for the university, for the football program. And there's a guy that's on their ESPN staff was saying, hey, even though we're not on campus, we promise you we are going to get a lot of footage of your campus, your stadium, Tiger Lane, and make it part of the show to make sure everybody knows what a great thing the University of Memphis has going on.
So for the game itself, I know you guys sold a bunch of tickets yesterday, but where do you kind of stand there, and as far as folks wanting tickets with the special pricing and all that good stuff?
Yeah, so we are rolling, Eli. It is, and I'm so impressed with the way the community's responded to this event, and really kind of the call to action that let's make this big time. Tickets are going very, very fast, and we are expecting that we will have the biggest crowd of the season, even bigger than the Ole Miss game. And they're moving really quick. We're encouraging people, get online. When you get to the GoTigersGoTix.com website, enter the promo code GameDay, and that gets you access to the tickets that are available at $9.01. That sale is going to run through Wednesday at midnight. And if we need to open up some more seats, that's what we'll look at doing to make it the type of atmosphere that really, to be honest, the football team deserves. They deserve to have the type of crowd that is second to none.
What was Drew asking of Steve? The question was, I guess on the visitor side, if it's not completely full, for people to come down a little bit, it looks better on camera.
Hey, don't worry. You don't have to worry about that. If you're going to come down, you're going to be climbing on top of somebody.
That's going to be great. I I did have a question, switching gears a little bit to basketball, from Raider Corey. He said, can you please ask Mr. Macy when or have they released the Tigers single-game tickets yet? As a former alum, I usually get – I guess you're not a former alum. You're an alum. I usually get information about this via email, have not received any notifications, just season tickets info, which I currently have for football, but not basketball.
Yeah, that stuff has already gone out. That email went out. Social media's gone out. All of the non-conference games are already for sale at this point in time for single games.
And where do you stand right now for Tuesday's opener with tickets sold?
There's I don't have the number in front of me, but we're at a really good number on the season tickets. We had a great number last year, and we're above that already. So if you kind of look at what our attendance formula is, we take our season sold plus single game sold plus students and credentials and people, and all of a sudden that's your total number. And we were at over 15,000 last night for our announced attendance, and so that gives you a good indication that our season ticket number is very, very good. There's very few seats that are still available in the plaza and club level, the two lower levels. So if someone wants to buy season tickets, they need to jump on it. But there are single game tickets available for all the non-conference up in the terrace level right now.
Yeah, I said based on the attendance of the two preseason exhibition games, I guessed that your season tickets were probably around 14,000. Is that close?
You are a math wizard.
I could do that. I could figure this out. I was like, I don't know what the number is for all the students and added on, but I was like, I'm going to guess around 1,500.
But I'm going to guess that the combination of the football game and the basketball game, as far as back-to-back Memphis sporting events, that's going to be way up there on the list of total attendance through a football game back-to-back with a basketball game.
Well, now I got to go look something up. I appreciate it. I got another task to go try to find out. I'll put our crack staff on that. But that's a great question. Has there ever been a back-to-back, football, men's basketball home events with a greater total attendance? I think you'd be hard-pressed to find it for sure. But, yeah, it is. Well, I always say this. It's fun to be a Tiger, but it's got a little more funner right now.
Steve, do you have any idea, and I don't know what their allotment is, what SMU, any clue on how many fans they might bring?
They had the normal allotment of around 300. They are bringing a pep band now, but they're taking out of their normal allotment. So I don't think their fan base is coming in droves. So they took it out of their normal allotment, that 50 or so pep band members.
So we'll have dueling bands?
Well, I mean, a pep band versus our 220 member band. I'm not sure if it's a duel, but it wouldn't be much of one. Maybe a pea shooter versus you know what? You guys are the gun experts after your visit last week, so you'll have to tell me all about
Savoie is, absolutely.
You don't want to mess with me.
Let me ask you this. Did you are you privy to any inside information as who the guest picker will be?
I am not, and if I was, I wouldn't tell you anyways. But no, I do not know what they're doing. They keep that pretty close to the vest, I think, but at some point in time, I'm sure we'll hear where they're leaning. If they asked us, I think we would be telling them we'd love it to be someone that's tied closely with University of Memphis and University of Memphis Athletics, that'd be our preference. But, whoever they pick is going to be awesome. They're going to be a great representative of the city, of the region, of the university. And you start talking about not liking who the picker is or whatever, you're complaining about some really small stuff and great stuff is happening. So
absolutely,
all of that stuff is ridiculous to me. That's only gravy, and there's nothing negative about any of it at that point.
Okay, and once again, you're going to have the website. Tell everybody again where they're going to be able to get all this information as we move closer to Saturday.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. It's going to be at gotigersgo.com. It'll be /game day. And we'll have that. We'll put that out on social media and a press release on exactly where people can find that. But that'll have all the information on parking, what time the pit will open, what's allowed and what's not allowed. They do have some rules that have to be abided by for ESPN Game Day for that piece. Mm-hmm. And then, if people want to go to the game, and sometimes we've gotten a little bit lost about the game itself a couple times here, but jump on the 901 sale. It's Go Tigers Go Tix, TIX.com /game day. Or I'm sorry, just tix.com, and then you enter the game day in the promo code, and that gets you access to the $9.01 tickets.
Steve, it's going to be a heck of a week, a heck of a Saturday. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, appreciate it. Steve Macy, Senior Associate AD at the University of Memphis. You can follow him on Twitter at Steve Macy. We'll take a break. When we come back, we got 2.5 questions. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports 56 now has 2 FM homes. You can now find Real Sports Talk on 96.1 as well as 87.7 on your FM dial.
In this corner is Bob the Beast of Bargraphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Mid-South Power Distributors is your source for all things diesel. For more than 26 years, they've supplied all the diesel parts that you need. From simple repairs to complete overhauls, they have it all. Whether it's heavy, medium, light duty, agricultural, marine, or off-road, Mid-South Power is the leading source for all things diesel. Fuel injection, turbochargers, engine parts, alternators, starters, and brakes, they can supply all the parts and services you need. Stop in today at 3250 Mill Branch Road in Memphis or call 901-396-0710.
Pop the top on your next party. 34 North Cocktails. Available in Memphis now. Great for football grove parties, around the hunting campfire, and when you get home, entertain friends. Pop a premium can of Barrel Thief. Tastes just like an old-fashioned Barrel Thief made with aged bourbon, bitters, a hint of orange, a touch of vanilla, 15% ABV. Then, for you vodka lovers, try Sneaky Pucker, a refreshing lemonade premium vodka cocktail, 12.5% ABV. Made with super premium vodka, lavender, simple syrup, and lemonade. Delicious and smooth. Let the party begin with 34 North Cocktails.
For over 25 years, Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 has been bringing you great local sports talk. With 13 hours of local talk daily, we continue to be Memphis's local sports leader. The day starts with Keith Parker and Elliot Wender on the press box from 6 to 7, followed by the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hurt from 7 to 10. Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie takes you through lunch from 10 until 1. And then, John Harden brings you Johnny Radio's Happy Hour from 1 to 3. Dave Woloshin and Brett Norsworthy drive you home every afternoon with Sports Time with Wolo and Stats from 3 till 6. And John Rennie wraps up the day with Southern Sports Report from 6 to 7 before we turn things over to Fox Sports Radio to get you through the evening. We also bring you Ole Miss sports, NFL football, and the NCAA basketball tournaments. Don't miss anything. Keep your radio locked in right here on Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Bust it.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by Gold Strike Casino and Resort in Tunica. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Now you know what to do, G. Bust the move.
Welcome back. We do have a winner. We didn't get a winner in our Humdingers trivia, by the way, but we got to have a tiebreaker. People were all over this one. We actually had 3 that came in all with the same timestamp. So, Greg, let me look at these here. Let me get this in my head. I'm gonna go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Okay, Greg, pick 1, 2, or 3.
3.
All right. The person who is number 3 will get notified. They are the winner. But we did have 3 people who got it correct all at the exact same time. It was immediate. We had a bunch of people all nailed this one right off the bat.
On their game today.
They are very much on their game. The only musician ever to be honored by the Baseball Hall of Fame is
John Fogerty.
That is correct. It is indeed John Fogerty with the song Center Field. And that was in 2010 that they honored him with that song. So congratulations to our winner. You will be notified, and we'll let you know how to pick up your prize. Right now, it's time for 2.5 questions.
Who, what, where, when, how, and why? Questions start with these. Step right up and answer all my questions, if you please.
I'm just a normal kid, like you, except that I ask questions. And because I'm brave enough to ask questions, I come under scrutiny.
Asking all them questions. Why you asking all them questions?
Now here is a question for you.
What does the fox say?
Question number 1. I asked Drew Hill this, but I'll ask you. What will the Tigers' starting 5 be in their season opener next Tuesday?
Okay. I'm going to assume Wiseman will be playing. If not, we're going to have a major story. But Wiseman, Precious Achiuwa, DJ Jeffries, Damian Ball, Lester Quinones.
You don't think Boogie's starting?
I have Boogie coming off the bench.
I disagree. I think Boogie's definitely starting.
Well, Damian Ball's your starting point guard, right? And
Boogie's going to be the starting 2.
Okay. That obviously came down to those two. And I'm just so wondering because Penny really is relying on the size of Quinones. And that's why it makes me think that he may start him. And he played the most minutes, I think, definitely last night, maybe even in the CBU game. I wouldn't be shocked if it was Boogie. Obviously, Boogie, the way he shot the three-pointer last night, is going to be important. And Quinones did not. But there's just something that tells me that.
I agree with Drew. I think if Lester starts, it's with Jeffries at the 3 with Jeffries not starting.
So you're thinking possibly Ball, Boogie, and then Quinones, and then the 2 bigs.
Yeah.
That's possible. That's really possible. I think DJ is going to be just undervalued all year long, not by his peers and by his coaches, but by people around the nation. And he's going to be the guy, wow, who's this guy? Because he's going to be the beneficiary of the bigs with Achiuwa and Wiseman. I'm going to, boy, that's a good one. I think, I'm going to change my mind. I think that's what it'll be. I think it'll be the 3 guards that we just talked about, Ball running the point, Boogie, Quinones, and then the 2 bigs, Achiuwa and Wiseman. If Wiseman doesn't start, then we got a big problem and a big story, and then DJ would be in the starting lineup.
All right. Question number 2. What will the announced attendance be Saturday night for the football game?
The announced attendance Saturday night. Boy, the way Steve was talking, that this is going really, really well. What did they announce for Ole Miss? He said it would be larger than Ole Miss. Do you guys remember? Austin, do you remember the Ole Miss announcement?
40-something, 44?
Yeah, it was right around like 40 or 42 or somewhere in that range. It was just over 40.
Was it just? I can remember.
If I'm not mistaken.
47,950. The announced crowd. 47,950.
47,950.
And again, I'm going a lot on what Steve had just talked about. If Steve Macy, who knows what's going on with the ticket sales, says it's going to be more than what they announced for Ole Miss, then obviously I got to go up toward 50. I mean, it would be unbelievable if it was 50.
What will the attendance be Tuesday for the basketball game?
The announced attendance will be a sellout. Whatever they announce for a sellout.
Wow. Tuesday night against
South Carolina
State.
The Mighty Bulldogs from the MEAC.
Wow.
Let's go sellout. First time to see this number 1 recruiting class in a real game, a game that counts. Why not? He said the season ticket sales are, what, 14,000?
That's doing my math.
That was good math, by the way.
Which is not very hard to do.
Good math. Good math.
It wasn't hard math.
I know.
All right. Final question. Most of the teams at the midway point now, some have still played 7 games, but we'll call it the midseason point of the NFL. Who is the midseason NFL MVP?
Well, Mahomes hurt himself, obviously, and Kansas City's now lost a few games. Lamar Jackson's had a really good run. Deshaun Watson has had a really good run. Heck, Jacoby Brissett has had a really good run. Aaron Rodgers, though, is playing at a top level right now. Breeze got hurt. And then, obviously, San Francisco and what they're doing out there. Brady, good, but not, staggering numbers. Making sure I don't miss anybody here. Let's see. I am going to go with I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers.
It's interesting because the two undefeated teams, really, the defense has been
right.
And there, I don't know. You could make and I know they talked about it last night, that Nick Bosa, as a rookie, could very well be the defensive player of the year in the NFL. And you could make a case for him as the MVP.
Well, a slight case for MVP, but Bosa's been incredible. He's been incredible. If he stays healthy, and we know that his brother's really good too, but he's had his injuries. If Nick Bosa stays healthy, he's going to be Rookie of the Year. He will get some votes, probably for MVP. But it's not as bad as the Heisman situation with a defensive player, but it's tough. But he's certainly having an incredible year. But I look, Mahomes was rolling, then he got hurt. Kansas City's lost some games. Watson and the Texans, again, he's put up good numbers. He's had a good year. Lamar Jackson has been really, really good. But I did not expect I expected Green Bay to be good. They're 7-1. He doesn't have a lot of great weapons, to be honest with you. Although Aaron Jones went nuts the other night.
The throw that Aaron Rodgers made the other night, and I
that was a throwaway. Come on,
you don't think
it was?
When he threw it, I thought it was, but I don't think you could put it there trying to throw it away.
Just on a dime.
It was literally perfect. You couldn't fit that in there, and he's throwing that like on a run, falling down, and lobs it perfectly. I kind of agree with what he said. Like, he threw it to a point where he thought maybe Jimmy Graham can go up and get it, but if not, then Williams in the back would be able to.
One thing is standing still stationary. The other thing is doing that while you're rolling out and running. And that's absolutely amazing. If he did that purposely and put it on that spot, threw it like a dime, that's incredible. But then again, he's incredible. So do you agree with me, or do you go Bosa, or are you going somebody else?
I would go with Aaron Rodgers right now.
Okay,
but
We're talking MVP, right? Could McCaffrey make a case for it?
He could. They just got slaughtered by San Francisco.
Yeah.
I think some of that comes
into
play.
Great defense, though.
Bosa, I hope Bosa, without a doubt, is going to be the defensive rookie of the year. I hope that he gets the attention he deserves for defensive player of the year.
Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. One of our great sponsors here on Middays. Call my friend Brandon McCullough at 901-438-5084 or go online to newroofmemphis.com. They offer financing with many different plans and options, including a 6, 12, or 18-month same as cash option. They'll work with your insurance company or they'll work out of pocket. Pinnacle does both residential and commercial roofs, so business owners and property managers, if you have a leak or any other roofing issue, you call them now. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. Don't wait until it becomes a major headache. Pinnacle is licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a $100 referral fee for all new roofs. And also, they can take care of work around the home. Carpentry work, exterior painting. They can install shingles, replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. They can do it all. Your one-stop shop for all your home repair needs. Satisfaction's guaranteed on all of their work. You get a 5-year labor warranty on all roofs. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Call Brandon McCullough. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays, 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com.
Raider Corey brings up Russell Wilson.
I completely forgot about Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson definitely has to be considered.
I completely forgot about him. I could see it either way. Right there. That would be 1A, 1B. Very good one, Corey. That's a very good one because Russell Wilson has been outstanding. And Seattle's played a little bit better than I thought they would. Kind of like Green Bay in my own mind. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, Don Wade will join us for the dish. We'll have Connor O'Gara on college football. We'll try to squeeze in a little NFL before we wrap it up. World Series, Game 6 tonight. Houston could eliminate Nationals and win it all if they could take care of business. If not, there will be a decisive Game 7 tomorrow night. But tonight, you got a great pitching matchup as Steven Strasburg will try to keep the Nationals alive. Justin Verlander will try to close it for the Stros. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area in any condition. And yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, iBuyHouses can get you your money quickly. iBuyHouses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. iBuyHouses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. iBuyHouses.
The people have spoken.
About what?
What do you think?
Well, you're here, so it must be Central Barbecue.
Central Barbecue, the Memphis Most Awards from the Commercial Appeal.
Let me guess. Best barbecue?
Best barbecue sandwich, best ribs.
Impressive.
But wait, there's more. The Memphis Flyer Best of Awards.
Best barbecue?
Best ribs.
This all seems very familiar.
That's because it happens every year. Central Barbecue is always Memphis' favorite in all things barbecue.
I meant this copy seems familiar.
Oh, it's pretty much the same spot from last year.
I love fall. The landscape is so beautiful at Town Village Audubon Park. Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. Looking for a great place to retire, but you still have a very active lifestyle? Then visit Town Village. Only requirements that you're 55 plus. Prices per month starting at $2,300. Gourmet Chef Drew invites you to visit our restaurant and bistro. Package includes 3 complimentary meals per day, maid service, free local transportation, daily check-in, monthly coffee club, themed dinner parties, lots of fun. Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home. Town Village Audubon Park.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM, 96.1, and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7.
Campbell Clinic now offers daytime walk-in care, and you don't need an appointment. If you've got any kind of urgent break, sprain, strain, you can walk into any of their 5 convenient locations Monday through Friday from 8 until 4. There's no long wait you have to put up with the ER, and those doctors are really good, but they're not orthopedists. They're not world-renowned orthopedists who have come up with different procedures and written the manuals for them that are used everywhere in the world. And I'm not kidding you. And you can now see those doctors who treat the Tigers, the Grizzlies, the Redbirds. You can see them today without an appointment. And I'm talking Collierville, Germantown, South Haven, downtown at the Med Center, or even the Campbell Clinic Spine Center in Cordova. Now, if you've got something pressing, you got to go to work and you can bear the pain until the evening, there's Campbell Clinic After Hours. That's Monday through Thursday from 5 to 8 in Germantown, South Haven, even Saturday morning in Germantown. If you're injured, don't wait. Visit Campbell Clinic Walk-In Care or Campbell Clinic After Hours.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays delivered by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Pop a top on a barrel thief or sneaky pucker from 34 North Cocktails today. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
Welcome back, everybody. 12:04 the time, final hour for us today here on this very busy Tuesday edition of Middays. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoie, Austin Eldridge in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. Their man cave sale going on now at Family Leisure. Sports 56 Middays is delivered each and every day by our title and presenting sponsor, all the super folks at the FedEx Corporation. Visit FedEx.com/e-commerce to see how FedEx can help you start, grow, and efficiently manage your business. It's Tuesday. That means it's time for The Dish. Don Wade joins us in studio from the Daily Memphian. You can follow him on Twitter at DWadeMEM. Well, like us, you've been around here a long time and probably thought the same thing we did, that there's no way game day is coming to Memphis. This is incredible, is it not?
It is, but it was funny watching the end of the game. I had a feeling that kid was going to miss that kick. I don't know.
Did you really?
I really did. Yeah, there was just something. I always like to try and look at the kicker's face and their body language, and especially college kickers. And I think my percentage is pretty good on, and now if it's a 54-yarder, okay, that's going to be tough to make under any condition. But if it's like a normal kick, and this was more than a normal kick, a true chip shot, I have a pretty good sense, I feel like, whether they're going to make it or not. You can just kind of tell. And he did not look comfortable. I mean, he
had already missed one and had one block. So and he had missed the two against SMU earlier this year. So he probably wasn't real comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you could just feel his lack of confidence. And so, yeah, in fact, I think I even said watching the game, this kid's going to miss this.
It's not quite the importance of Scott Norwood's kicks in the Super Bowl, especially the one in the wide right. But that kick by that kid, missing that kick, so important for this university, for the University of Memphis, to have game day, to set up this battle of 7-1 versus 8-0 for the division lead and everything that goes with it. And who knows what will happen down the road. There's still a lot of obstacles for Memphis football. But sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need a little luck, and sometimes you need a little divine intervention. And they got it. But that kick, extremely important. For that kid, you feel bad. Obviously, that was a win for Tulsa if he makes it. But for Memphis, that would have really ruined a lot of things if that kick was good.
Well, you consider that Tulsa easily could have beaten Memphis, could have beaten SMU. Kind of goes to the parity in the American Athletic Conference, really.
There is a lot of parity, but there's a lot of good football, too. It's parity. Sometimes parity can be a negative word, but we saw what UCF did. UCF has lost already a couple times this year, including to Cincinnati, and they absolutely destroyed Temple. They tripled them up. And, of course, we know Memphis, in a controversial finish, loses to Temple. Navy's only loss is to Memphis, and they've been playing incredibly well. It was a field goal that was made, right, by Navy, Eli, that beat Tulane last weekend?
Yeah.
So, a lot of field goals coming down to the wire in games in the American Conference that have made a difference.
Yeah, that was an impressive let. Like they put together a good drive to go win that game after they had blown the big lead, and Tulane came back, and then they drove and did it their way, running the football, which is amazing. You think of that 2-minute drill like Navy going to be an issue, but Perry made a huge run, and then they got down there, and their kid, which is I'm pretty sure that's a true freshman, he stepped up and drilled it.
We're thinking about everything that's going to happen this week with all the ESPN personalities coming here, game day, how fun it's going to be. We just had Steve Macy on from the University of Memphis, all the preparation. But there is a football game to be played. And we want the biggest crowd. We want it to look great. It's national TV. It's ABC in primetime. But the way they played against Tulsa, Mike Norvell and company, on defense, offensively they were fine. They got to figure things out because Tulsa's good offensively. SMU's really good offensively. And we know the importance of this game.
Yeah, and I think, truthfully, this sets up better for SMU than it does Memphis. SMU's the one that is undefeated, yet by the line, they're the underdog. And I realize that's partly because they're on the road. All that game day hoopla is really impacting Memphis this week, not SMU, right? And so, what do coaches hate more than anything, even though they love that game day's coming? They hate distractions, right? They gear everything toward limiting distractions and keeping the players focused on going 1-0 this week, as every coach in America says over and over. To me, the way it lays out, it's more challenging for Memphis to achieve that this Saturday than it is for the visiting team.
It's interesting. Interesting way of looking at it.
See, you could say, though, and the coaches usually do, and maybe Mike will when he joins us Thursday, you could say, yeah, it's the next game on our schedule. It's another game. It's one win or one loss. But that's BS. It's BS. He's going to be on the set on game day on Saturday. I think, obviously Mike knows the importance of everything everything that surrounds the game. But he also knows the importance of going between the lines and beating SMU. Because you lose, they're in your division, you're basically 2 games behind them, you only got 3 games. It's huge in so many facets. So it's just the next opponent, it's the next game, it's one game. Throw that out the window.
So let me ask you this question, and not that you can control this, but if you're the head coach, do you want your players watching game day that morning, or do you want them doing whatever their normal routine would be? You want them avoiding watching game day?
I'd want them watching. I think so.
Yeah, I would. I'm trying to think if, like, the routine that early, well, you're going to go to breakfast together. You're going to do some things. You're staying at the hotel, the team hotel, Friday night. So I know one thing about Mike, because he's like every other coach. They like routines. So I don't know. That's an interesting question, Don, because I'm with Eli. It's like, yeah, I mean, be proud. This is your city. They're talking about your university and your football program.
It's game day, right? I mean, game day for the players, not game day the crew. And I mean, it's like I think maybe I want to kind of be past all that. And does it matter which hat Lee Corso puts on? I mean, I know
that doesn't matter. But do you want to break from your regiment? Do you want to change? Like, say at that time you do breakfast, then you have these meetings with your position coach, and then meeting with the head coach and all that.
You know what I do?
Do you break that up and change it around just to watch?
No,
TV?
you don't change it.
I'd keep everything the same, and I'd tell my team, look, we're going to keep everything the same because what matters to us is what happens from the time that ball kicks off to the end and making sure we get the win. You guys get the win. We're going to all get together afterward and watch some of the game day stuff that was fun in the morning. But let's not worry about that until we play the game.
And I say you want to watch. I'm going to assume that between 8 and 11 in the morning on a game day when there's a 6:30 game, they've got free time. That's not all taken up.
It's not all taken up, but I guarantee you they do a breakfast together.
Yeah, so you don't change the schedule, but in that period, I'm assuming there's some free time. Turn it on, watch it. Why not? Like, see what's going on in your city. Because the rest of game day isn't a distraction for the players. Really, they won't. There's nothing that would make them even know. Involving them. There's nothing that game day changes the week for them in any way. It's not out there. They're not even going to see it really.
Right.
It's not anything that the players would be around.
If they're in their room and it's downtime for an hour or so, you can do whatever you want, guys. Just stay at the hotel, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Pop the TV on. What I'm saying is, if they had things all set and scheduled, Mike is not going to probably change that schedule.
Right.
Because, again, they're all the same football coaches, man. They like to be regimented.
You want the routine.
Yeah, you want the routine. You want the routine. So, anyway, obviously that's going to be huge. And the ticket sales are going really well for Saturday. Ticket sales are going well for season tickets for the Memphis Tigers basketball team. What hasn't gone well is how they've looked in a couple of exhibition games, albeit no James Wiseman. So, Don, does that matter that they haven't looked so good in these 2 exhibition games with the season opener a week from tonight? Or is there reason to be a little bit concerned?
Well, full disclosure, I'm doing a lot of Grizzlies this season, so I didn't see either of the Tigers exhibition games. So, having said that, I mean...
Well, in general, if you don't play up to snuff in an exhibition game,
I don't really put much stock in exhibitions, preseason, spring training, any of that. But I do think that there comes a point where you start to have what looks like a real pattern, and if it's, what one of the Christian Brothers players said about, they didn't seem as engaged or as tough, really, as last year's team, obviously more talented. But, that's a tiny, tiny red flag, I guess, for me. Will we be saying the same kinds of things after they've played 5 games that count? You've got the whole question about James Wiseman's health, obviously, that's still out there till you see him play a game and look like you expect him to look. But Penny said something, I believe, after the second one that, work to be done or I need to change some things.
He said, obviously, I have to make some changes because these 2 games have been an eye-opener for us.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe there has been so much hype in this city about this basketball team and kind of anointing them to the Final Four almost that maybe that was inevitable. I don't know. You're playing teams that you can be on autopilot and you know you're going to beat, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there was just no avoiding that. But I know this, when they play South Carolina State, is that right?
That's right.
South Carolina, like, you need to come out strong from the start, step on their throat, then jump on their throat, and then do it 5-6 more times and just be emphatic. That's what you need to see.
Set the tone.
The thing, too, is it's weird because, again, it is preseason. And so, like, how much you're talking about 18-year-old kids you're telling them this is an exhibition. This game doesn't count. That's hard to get them to go. But we still want you to play really hard out there tonight against this team that you're just clearly bigger and more athletic and way better than. And you're also doing it without the best player. So it's like,
but here's the part.
You're talking about the possible number 1 overall pick in the draft who's not a part of this. So how much effect does that have?
But here's the part that would be troubling to me, assuming James Wiseman gets healthy. Aside from him and Precious, don't you think everybody else is kind of competing for minutes at some level because there is so much talent? So why not get the jump on showing the coaching staff that, hey, even in an exhibition game, I'm going to bring it. I'm going to be productive. I'm one of the guys you can rely on. Yes, we're all heralded, but I'm one of the guys you can rely on. If I was a player, that's how I'd be looking at it.
And you are in front of an audience for the first time. You're in front of the Tigers fans. You want to put your best foot forward. You want to look good out there, not look lost. What was the thing I heard from Drew? He didn't say it on our show, but I think he tweeted it out that Lester Canonias was like, Penny said, "What are you doing?" And Lester Canonias said, "I don't know." Like, you've already had 10 practices to lead into the Bahamas. You had the scrimmage games or exhibitions down there.
That's the Matt Darnold ghost problem right there, right?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold. Excuse me.
Then you had all the practices leading up to the 2 exhibition games, and you're a week away from the start of the season. You need to know where you're supposed to be. So again, when Penny says we got to change things, wow, a week before the start of the season, you got to change things. I think everything will be fine. But as Drew said earlier, if Mr. Wiseman is not in the lineup on Tuesday, then we got a problem. Not that they won't win, but what's really going on? What's really going on? So that'll be interesting. In the meantime, as you said, you're doing a lot of things with the Grizzlies. And Sunday, Eli and I, we were at the game. That was incredible. That was as fun as I've seen a Grizzlies game in years. To be a part of that, just watching, and to see John Morant have a breakthrough in game number 3 to score 30 and then to fire up the crowd and then to make the block on Kyrie Irving to end regulation and then to leave it for Jay Crowder, who had done pretty much nothing all game, and he hits the 3. I think these moments are going to be few and far between, unfortunately, but that was a great moment. I think it fired up a lot of fans when they watched either in person or on TV.
I missed it, and it's going to kill me when I'm watching them blow 16-point leads, in the third quarter when I'm covering. Happened to miss that one. But the thing that kind of jumped out at me was a description that my colleague at the Daily Memphian, Chris Harrington, gave of that last play where Morant had 3.7 seconds to get down the court, get the ball to Crowder, and then also kind of get in the way of the defenders so he could get a clear shot. And he said it took John Morant longer to detail that play in the post game in the locker room, telling everybody about it, than it did for him to do it. It's like, think about that. That is what is special about him. That is what so few players can do. And it's kind of like that play that's on a loop right now that Deshaun Watson made this last weekend, where he spins out of that tackle and just kind of instinctively knows where to look and puts the ball right on the money in the end zone for a touchdown. I mean,
gets kicked in the eye, fixes his helmet, and then throws the ball.
Right, important point. That's the kind of stuff that Yeah, you really can't get from doing drills or whatever. Either you've got that ability or you don't, and Ja is special like that.
Well, and the Aaron Rodgers pass that we talked about.
Oh, that was incredible,
like
too.
You're just like, that's...
Although
that's,
he admitted apparently that it wasn't who he was originally trying to throw
well,
to,
he said, I threw it in a place where maybe Jimmy Graham could go up and get it, and if he couldn't, then the guy in the back, meaning Jamal Williams. I'm not sure he
Well,
knew
he
who
must
the guy
have
in the
thought
back
he was throwing to, like, Jimmy Graham 8 years ago, because there ain't no way this Jimmy Graham's getting up to get that.
But, yeah, I mean, I mean, just watching Ja, I mean, again, it's just there's so many things you like about what he does. I mean, there is one, he's really good, and he showed, like, the ability to score along with what he does seeing the floor. He likes the moment. He clearly I mean, the three that he hit,
right?
Like that, the block, like he loves being the guy in that moment. But he didn't like it so much where I'm going to, because it's the chance to win the game, I'm going to get this shot because I'm the guy. He was willing to pass it off, trusting the play and what was there, trusting a veteran like that. So like that's
absolutely right. And the other thing about him is, when you listen to him talk, you sense that he truly wants to be great. And as part of that, he doesn't give himself on a pass. He doesn't give himself a free pass on the plays that he should have made.
Right.
And doesn't.
Right.
And therefore, and he will go third person sometimes, but he's the only athlete I've ever heard speak in the third person that didn't sound arrogant doing it. You know?
I heard him because I went in the locker room and was asking him a couple of things, and he went third person on me. I was like kind of startled. I didn't expect that, but no, you're absolutely right. Hey, let me ask you this before we let you go. Can you have two like the face of the team? You always hear he's the face of the team. Can you have two faces of the team? Like in the situation with the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. kind of was passed the torch by the core four. Like he's the guy, right? But John Morant, as Eli was just talking about, the way he was interacting after making those plays and looking in the crowd and getting the crowd on their feet, I just think that he has more star ability than Jaren, even though, don't get me wrong, I like Jaren a lot. Jaren's a very friendly guy, a smile. He's great. He's going to be great marketing.
I think it's harder to have two faces of the team in basketball than baseball or football because the team is smaller. Right, you think about it, and I'm just going to, baseball always comes to my mind first. Ruth and Gehrig, Bob Gibson and Lou Brock. I mean, how would you separate between, you know what I mean? But in basketball, it's always one guy. It's Magic, it's Jordan, it's Kobe, it's Bird, right?
But now with the Grizzlies have had two. It was
they had four.
But the last couple of years, but the last 2 years, it's been Mark and Mike. I mean, Mark and Mike were. Now it's John and Jaren. It went from Mark and Mike to John and Jaren.
But he's talking about it at a different level, are you not? You're talking about eventually kind of like actual superstar level.
Yeah, I'm looking at it like this. Okay, we're in a new era right now. We're moving forward. We know we have these young players, a couple of young players that are going to be very, very good. Who are they? Who's going to be that face? Like when we look at the Grizzlies, it's Ja's team. It's Jaren's team. Which one is it? Or is it both of theirs? Can it be both of theirs?
Yeah, maybe it can. I mean, you
it's
that
Mark
nice
and Mike.
alliteration.
But you went from Mark and Mike to John Jaren.
Yeah, but there were a lot of people, like everybody thought it was Mike's team. There were a lot of people who didn't think it was Mark's team, even though in reality it was. Like there were a lot of people that didn't like Mark for whatever reason. It's kind of like the Brady White thing. Not as bad, though.
Well, I think over time it was proven, going back to when you had the core four, that really Conley was probably the most indispensable. You know, you never had a backup point guard even at the level of Tyus Jones, right? I mean, there were times when, it was feed 50. We know that. But I always thought that he was, you can have the argument about best versus valuable, but I always thought he was the most valuable. And I think it's probably going to eventually work out that way with Ja and Jaren. I think we're going to be on the same page and say that Ja is as good as, even though he's got a nice backup, but down the road when they're, contending and hopefully and all of that, I think it's going to be Ja that we look at and say he's the most valuable.
I agree. All right, great stuff, Don. Thank you. Don Wade, check out all his terrific stories at the Daily Memphian and follow him on Twitter at DWadeMEM. We will take a timeout. When we come back, we're going to switch gears, talk some college football with Connor O'Gara, as we do every Tuesday. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's you, Jamie. Don't be alarmed, but I think there's a guy following you. Maybe we should get that guard dog we talked about? Nothing too scary. Maybe like a Bichon with an attitude? You know, Progressive's collision insurance covers injured dogs and cats at no extra cost, so... Wait, the guy stood up when I stood up. He's on the phone. He's looking right at me. Oh, wait. Just my reflection. Don't tell anyone about this.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Pet coverage not available in New Hampshire and North Carolina.
You know when you gotta be somewhere, it's like really urgent. You don't want to do it over the phone. Some things just can't be said with an LOL or an OMG. Some things just need to be done IRL. So you get in your Nissan Altima and drive. Feel the VC turbo engine instantly react to give you more power and efficiency, so you can get where you need to go.
Hey, Eric. What are you doing here?
Like.
Huh?
Your social post. I liked it.
Oh, thank you. You know there's a button for that, right?
I do.
The Nissan Altima, now offering the most tech-advanced engine in its class. This is tech that helps you be there. This is Nissan Intelligent Mobility. Auto-Pacific segmentation. 2020 Altima Platinum versus latest in-market competitors in the premium midsize class. Available feature. World's first production variable compression turbo engine launched by Nissan Motor Company Limited in 2018.
Need physical therapy but don't know where to go? Tried physical therapy but had a bad experience? Grab your physician's referral and head to Revolution Physical Therapy at the corner of Goodman and Getwell. At Revolution PT, you'll get one-on-one, hands-on therapy. Better and more thorough than just going to the gym. Revolution is locally owned and staffed by neighbors who care about your maximum recovery. And they accept all major insurances. Certified in dry needling, expert in myofascial release. Always relaxed and friendly. Revolution Physical Therapy is just what you need.
I know I say this all the time.
What, that Central Barbecue goes perfectly with whatever's happening this month?
Well, yeah, but this month it's really true.
Because it's the baseball playoffs.
Well, yeah, and...
We're in the heart of college football season where a lot of the biggest games happen. What better time for Central Barbecue?
Well, come on, let me...
And, of course, the race is really on in the NFL, and what goes better with football than Central Barbecue?
Oh, all right, seriously.
And if, it's also the beginning of hockey season.
That's not fair. You wouldn't even let me say hockey season?
Central Barbecue and sports always go great together.
What he said.
Got something you want to get off your chest?
You better have a backup plan.
Want to join the conversation?
Someone needs to tell him he has to grow up.
Join us on the First Bank phone lines at 360-8255 or the First Bank text line at 67129. You already know you can listen to Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch for information on breaking news, chances to win prizes, and video of all the shows. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56, 96.1, and 87.7 on social media. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Pop a top on a barrel thief or sneaky pucker from 34 North Cocktails today. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
This hour is indeed brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Check them out. Check out the two different ones they've got for you. They've got the bourbon drink, which is the Barrel Thief. Tastes looks like an old fashioned. And then they've got the vodka drink, which is called Sneaky Pucker. That tastes like lemonade, basically. Both very, very good. And maybe for game day or for tailgating for the game on Saturday night, they would make some great additions for you because they're very convenient. You can drink them right out of the can. You can pour them over ice if you want, but they come already pre-made right there in a 12-ounce can for you, and they're available in liquor stores around Memphis. The Barrel Thief is 15% alcohol by volume. The Sneaky Pucker is 12.5%. So, again, this Saturday could be a marathon, folks. You're going to start at 6 in the morning and have to go all the way till 10 o'clock at night. be a little careful with these. These are strong. These come at you strong, but they are very good for tailgate parties and anything where you're looking to add drinks, and is certainly very convenient with the fact they come in that 12-ounce can. They're 34 North cocktails available at your local liquor stores around Memphis.
They call him Mr. Tailgate. Time now for Connor O'Gara.
It's time to talk some SEC and college football on Sports 56 Middays. Joining Greg and Eli is Connor O'Gara from SaturdayDownSouth.com. Now, here's Connor with Greg and Eli.
I made up a fake nickname for Connor. We'll find out more about his tailgating exploits here in a second. You can follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. He joins us every Tuesday. Connor O'Gara joins us now on Sports 56 Middays. So, Connor, we have game day in Memphis coming Saturday. Have you been to the game day, and have you partaken in a little tailgating over your career?
Yeah, just first on the game day experience, I have been able to be at a couple of college game days. I think the most recent one I was at would have been 2016, Ohio State at Wisconsin up at Camp Randall. That game was double overtime, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that Ohio State was able to pull away and ultimately win that game. And it was cool. I mean, Camp Randall, it wasn't at Camp Randall, stadium itself, but Madison is just such a great town for that. And, the weather was crappy that day. Still really cool to get to see those personalities kind of up close. What you don't really see a lot on TV is that they'll kind of pump up the crowd a little bit, and they'll kind of talk with them. And I mean, they do this stuff so often. So, yes, it is, not necessarily a game, and it's just four people that are talking on a set. It is an interactive show, and the people of Memphis they'll enjoy it, no doubt.
And I mean, it's weird for us here because, one, it's very rare to see it go to a non-Power 5 school to begin with, and then the fact that Memphis wasn't, just not too many years ago, was never even thought of to be anywhere near this type of thing. But I know coming into this season, you were one of the ones that was all about Memphis coming into this year. How high were you on SMU coming into this year?
Non-existent. I can say that. I'll be honest. I didn't look too much into SMU. Knew, about the quarterback situation, and Shane. Am I pronouncing his name right? Is it Shane Bukele? How do you say his last name?
Shane Buechele.
Buechele. Okay.
His father played Major League Baseball.
Right. Okay, that's right. I knew that he was going to be there, and I was a little bit intrigued. But you're like, all right, replacing Chad Morris. I guess year 2 without Chad Morris. How good could that program really look? Did not think that they would look this good. I mean, to have them get off to this kind of a start, and to be, sitting here playing for a top 15 spot potentially, moving forward in that New Year's Six bowl berth, potentially, I am blown away by that. Memphis, I thought was going to be kind of in this position, and I'll be honest, I sort of might have maybe written off Memphis a couple weeks ago after the loss, losing the road against Temple, and my preseason prediction, I kind of tend to think that if you're a Group of 5 team, you pretty much have to run the table to get that New Year's Six bowl slot. But if you look at what's ahead, it's all still there for Memphis. Mm-hmm. I mean, starting this weekend, they definitely have a path to get to the New Year's Six, and I think for Mike Norvell in this program, I mean, that's about all you can ask for going into November.
Well, first of all, any reference to the Memphis Temple game, you have to say the controversial victory by Temple over the Tigers. Sorry. The other thing is, all right, so we're not going to have, more than likely, unless SMU runs the table, an undefeated team winning the conference. Now, Cincinnati could be undefeated and win the championship, but they have a loss overall to Ohio State. We have Appalachian State that's sitting there in a Sun Belt conference where they have dominated. They have a win over North Carolina, and in 2 weeks they will play South Carolina, as you know. How high can an App State go as an undefeated, one loss and they're done for the New Year's Six? But if they win over South Carolina, run the table, win their conference, where are they going to be?
It's fascinating because a lot of it could depend on how fair South Carolina finishes. South Carolina's just been so unpredictable. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you had said last week, what would it mean for App State to go into South Carolina and win that game? I'd say, That's really impressive. That'd be quite the feat to be able to do that, given how good South Carolina looked the 2 previous weeks, leading in the fourth quarter, consecutive games against top 10 teams. But then we see what South Carolina does against Tennessee, and we're kind of wondering again, like, are they a bowl team? I don't know. So that could have an impact. And, I think the AAC is actually, like, setting up better this year for the rest of the conference and for the contenders than it has when UCF has been good.
Mm-hmm,
and that could benefit the team who comes out of the conference. So if that is Memphis, I mean, we're looking at a situation in which they could have 3 top 25 matchups, potentially rack up 3 top 25 wins in the next month here. And that, I think, would carry some weight in terms of getting the New Year's Six bid. So I think that would have to matter a lot. And a one-loss App State team, while beating a couple of Power 5 teams that would be impressive, I don't know. I think that the AAC has really helped out programs like Cincinnati and Memphis and SMU who are looking to make that next step. I tend to think that the New Year's Six representative is going to come out of this conference.
Connor, you mentioned your game day experience was an Ohio State-Wisconsin game. The one this past week did not require any overtimes because Ohio State once again was dominant. Where do you think Ohio State will be in the playoff committee rankings next week?
I think that they're probably still going to be number 3, and part of that is, they have a little bit of a backloaded schedule. I mean, they still have matchups coming up against Penn State and Michigan to finish the season. And Wisconsin losing that game to Illinois the week earlier probably hurt a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I tend to sort of think that they're going to be number 3, maybe as high as number 2, but I don't think that they're going to be number 1. And, we know that Bama and LSU are off this weekend, so we kind of feel like they're going to be 1 and 2. And that's not just based entirely on the AP poll. It's based on the belief that Bama has dominated everybody on its schedule, whether it's been good or not. They have dominated. And yes, while Ohio State has done the same thing as well, I would still argue that Alabama right now has been that much more impressive from an offensive standpoint. And I think that they're a little bit more proven in that regard. And yes, whether it should factor into the rankings or not, I think the selection committee does admittedly have a little bit of a, hey, you go to this many national championships in a row, we are going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And Ohio State, obviously the playoff struggles post-2014, well documented. But, yeah, I mean, I think LSU is going to be up there as well. I think Bama and LSU are going to be 1, 2 in whatever order the selection committee picks. I think LSU deserves to have that number 1 spot just based on the belief that, you beat 3 top 10 teams and, you've shown that you are worthy, you are legit, and that even though you didn't necessarily have your best game against Auburn, it was still another win against the top 10 team, which Bama doesn't have, obviously, at this point. So that's probably how I think it's going to shake out in this first rankings, which, as we know, I mean, that's just set in stone, and that pretty much means everything in the world, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's set in stone at that moment.
Assuming, and I think, by the way, you're going to be right for next week. I don't think there's going to be much intrigue for next week. But assuming the weekend after, when LSU plays Alabama, and let's say everybody else up near the top takes care of business, how far do you think the loser of the Alabama-LSU game drops for the next standings, for the next week's standings?
I think they would drop behind Ohio State, but, it depends how close it is. Now, if LSU plays Bama down to the wire on the road, we see LSU's offense look good. That's the key thing to remember. If LSU, with all the offensive hype that it has earned to this point, lays an egg offensively again, and it's like, oh my gosh, what is this team going to have to do to score points against Alabama?
Right.
Then I think that maybe you see LSU drop to 4 or 5. Maybe more like 5 is more realistic, and Clemson would definitely be ahead. But LSU plays Bama down to the wire, scores a lot of points, and still loses that game. I mean, I don't think the selection committee is going to drop them out of the top 4. I think they'd still leave them in there. I think they'd put Ohio State ahead of them, but I think that they would have them maybe slotted ahead of Clemson, with obviously still the stipulation that Clemson would have to run the table, win its conference championship game, and LSU would theoretically be left out of that. That could still all be on the table. I think that makes it a little bit more of an interesting conversation, and it would make the selection committee's job a little bit easier in knowing that they could decide this down the road and let more games decide it instead of trying to figure this all out right now. That's probably how I would see this playing out.
How costly you think the Oklahoma loss was to their shot, because you start looking at some of these teams that could end up with one loss, like the loser of the LSU-Alabama game. Would you, in the end, if that plays out and they have the one loss, would you take them over a one-loss Oklahoma as a Big 12 champion?
Yeah, I would. I would, and that's going to come off bias. I don't care. I mean, I think at this point, if Bama does have that one loss, depending on who it's to, obviously you got to host LSU, but the game that everybody's kind of sleeping on is the Iron Bowl. Got to go to Jordan Hare, and that's not exactly an easy place to go into and play and pull out a win. I think that Bama would still be more deserving, just because the Big 12 this year has not been great, and Texas has not lived up to its potential. I know Baylor has had a nice year, but just some of the inconsistencies been a little bit all over. It's been a little bit all over the place. Teams like Oklahoma State thinking that they were going to be better, and I don't know what to make of TCU. I guess Kansas State, big time win, but still kind of an unpredictable team. I don't know. I think that the Big 12 really, really hurt itself with that game, and it was almost a little bit reminiscent of Ohio State losing to, not quite as drastic as losing to Purdue or getting killed by Iowa a couple years ago, but kind of could have that kind of an impact where you thought, all right, this is our best chance. This is going to be our team that's going to go represent us and have maybe a chance to stay on the same field as an Alabama or an LSU or an Ohio State. And I don't know. After that game, it's going to be really difficult for Oklahoma to work their way back. They need to get on a roll and dominate teams down the stretch. And I think that we can safely say that the control of their own destiny, that is now gone, and they're going to need some things to happen.
You recently wrote about Arkansas and Chad Morris, and yesterday we were talking about it on the show, although I have not seen it yet on social media. And you can confirm or maybe deny, but supposedly Chad Morris has guaranteed a win for this week against Mississippi State. Arkansas, as you know, has not won an SEC game under the leadership of Chad Morris. Is that in fact true? Did he really guarantee a win? And if he did, is he crazy?
Yes, he is crazy. I've only seen the comments on social media. I haven't seen this. I haven't seen the original quote, so I don't want to necessarily say it's 100% true.
Right, nor have I.
But if it's something that was taken out of context, if he's saying, I feel like we're going to win this game, that's a little bit different. It's almost like in the morning, when it's, and I'm in Orlando, so this is a bad example, but in the dead of winter, when it's really cold out and you got to get a workout in the morning, and you wake up and you're like, before I do everything to start my day, I have to go get this workout in, whether it's go for a run, go to the gym, whatever it is. And you're like, I need something to just psych myself up. I got to blast the music right now. I need to wake up. I need to do whatever I can to get myself motivated for this weekend and just do something different, or get myself motivated to want to go complete this workout. That's kind of what Chad Morris is doing. I mean, let's be honest. You haven't won an SEC game. You've never beat a Power 5 team. You're guaranteeing a win against an SEC team. If that's the case, that's a bad look for you, considering we are heading into week 10 of year 2 of his program, and he still doesn't know what the quarterback situation looks like. All he's done is just turn over quarterbacks left and right. It's a disaster to watch that program. To sit here and have any sort of confidence in what he's built so far is just ridiculous. I feel for all Arkansas fans who have had to subject themselves to watching this program on a weekly basis, because it's a disaster. And I've said it before, there's just not a light at the end of the tunnel for them right now when this quarterback situation is so up in the air. He can't decide what he wants to do. He doesn't want to turn it over to John Stephen Jones or KJ Jefferson, these young guys. I don't know what in the world you could hold on to if you're an Arkansas fan right now.
Well, the other side of that game, now it is not to the level of Arkansas, but if Mississippi State were to lose to Arkansas and give them that first win, give him that first conference win, could that be the death blow for Joe Moorhead?
I didn't think that we'd get to this point this year. I really, really didn't. And I've said on this program, I am a huge Joe Moorhead believer. I believe that he's a great offensive mind. It has not worked out. And I am starting to believe more and more that there's a chance he could be gone after this year, whether that's his doing or the university's doing. I tend to think that it would be more of a university decision where they'd be forcing him out. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's going to quit on this program. That's not the type of guy he is. He is an extremely confident individual, and he will always believe that he's got a chance to win a game. That's just the way that he's built. That's the way that he's led his career. But if your team can't get up to beat Arkansas, man, I don't know. I just don't know. That would just be such a tough pill to swallow, especially how badly they dominated them last year. I mean, Mississippi State won that game in a rout. They won that game by, 50 points last year. To regress that badly would just be a tough pill to swallow, and Joe Moorhead's days could definitely be numbered if you were to lose a game like this and allow Arkansas to win their first SEC game of the Chad Morris era.
That would be something. I'm sure it will be one of the games that we'll talk about with Connor next week when he joins us again next Tuesday. Senior national columnist, SaturdayDownSouth.com, SaturdayTradition.com. Make sure to follow him on Twitter at CJ O'Gara. Connor, great stuff. Have a great week. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Sounds good. Enjoy game day, guys.
Thank you, there.
For all your equipment needs, folks, get over to Mid-South Ag Equipment with the Case IH agricultural headquarters they've got there with all of the different Case IH tractors online on their lot they've got there, plus the bush hog cutters, bush hog zero-turn lawnmowers, everything you need from new to pre-owned equipment to service on your current equipment. They can take care of you at Mid-South Ag Equipment. Whatever the chores are that you need accomplished, well, they've got the equipment to take care of it. They're easy to get to. They're just south of Collierville on Goodman Road. You take I-269. They're a half-mile west of the Goodman Road exit. So all you can do is get off there at the exit. Boom, you're right there at Mid-South Ag Equipment. You can give them a call, 662-890-3141, 662-890-3141. 3141, but better yet, go by and see them and all the equipment they've got there on the lot for you at Mid-South Ag Equipment.
All right, we'll take another break, come back, and wrap it up. We got one final thing, a few more tidbits to get to.
Big news from the NCAA.
Yes.
They've opened their eyes.
Yes, they have. That we'll get to when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
Sports Time with Rollo and Stacks. Every weekday afternoon from 3 till 6. Right here on Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7.
And this corner is Bob the Beast of Bar Graphs, using Dayquil Severe to face off against his cold. Bob's cold was coming at him from all sides. Head, chest, right nostril, left nostril. Oh, Dayquil Severe! What a game changer! He's out of his bed sheets, wrecking his spreadsheets, bodies slamming his sales reports. With Dayquil Severe, Bob's cold is out cold.
Dayquil Severe, the daytime coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, sore throat, power through your day medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Sundays and Mondays are special at the Butcher Shop, celebrating over 35 years of serving the Mid-South by giving a big thank you to you, their loyal customers. You can come in, relax, watch your favorite games, and enjoy hand-cut steaks along with a premium bar. Sunday and Monday nights from 5 until 8:30, you can get select entrees for $25. That includes the salad, baked potato, and bread, and you don't have to pick one, you get all three. Some of those entrees are 10-ounce New York strip steak, slow-roasted prime rib, Atlantic salmon with dill sauce, marinated grilled chicken breast, grilled boneless pork chops, and crab stuffed shrimp. Plus, all appetizers and desserts are 20% off. Don't forget, Hamburger Friday every Friday from 11 to 2. It's the best. The Butcher Shop, always a Memphis tradition. Call 901-757-4244, 901-757-4244 for more information, or just stop in at 107 South Germantown Parkway in Cordova.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 1616 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 1616. Enjoy.
This is Carl on his motorcycle.
Let's ride till we run out of gas.
And This is Carl off his motorcycle.
Balsa wood is very different than teak. People confuse the two.
On his motorcycle.
Hey! Check out that view!
Off his motorcycle.
Let's do puzzles in the break room.
On.
Look at all that open road!
Off.
Look how long my fingernails are getting.
You're better on your bike. Progressive helps keep you on it. Get a quote in as little as 3 minutes at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays, presented by FedEx. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is also brought to you by 34 North Cocktails. Pop a top on a barrel thief or sneaky pucker from 34 North Cocktails today. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoie.
I posted a bunch of reasons why fans should come out Saturday night for the Tigers game, and our friend Cullen tweets, don't forget, you also get an extra hour, too, fallback.
That's right.
I forgot that that's this weekend, so you'll get one more hour, and that'll help you with your Sunday morning sleep. All right, big news.
The dumb thing we do every year.
Big news from the NCAA, and I'm quite shocked that this is coming as soon as it is. Usually they linger and wait, but the NCAA Board of Governors meeting today say they're starting the process to enhance name, image, and likeness opportunities. The quote, this is from Michael V. Drake, chairman of the NCAA Board of Governors, president of the Ohio State University. We must embrace change to provide the best possible experience for college athletes. Additional flexibility in this area can and must continue to support college sports as a part of higher education. This modernization for the future is a natural extension of the numerous steps NCAA members have taken in recent years to improve support for student athletes, including full course of attendance and guaranteed scholarships. But how far will they go with the likeness, image, and those opportunities? Will it be, it has to at least match what the California law now says, because others are waiting in line. Others are ready to go in a bunch of different states, because you can't do anything less. You can't give certain restrictions, and then they might say, well, screw it, we'll just continue with what we have as law. So, but it is a great step, isn't it, Eli, for the NCAA to finally recognize that this is the way we're going?
Yeah, I mean, they were going to have to. I mean, they have no choice. So they realize they've got to get on board here, which was expected that this would be the swift kick in the rear end that they needed to get on this. And this is a good sign that they are moving towards this. One of the things that they do have in here, though, among their things and their principles and guidelines, make clear that compensation for athletics, performance, or participation is impermissible. So they want to make sure that we're still clear on that you cannot be paid just for playing. Like we're looking at the other stuff, but we're going to make this very clear that we're still not paying you for playing. So,
and I understand that.
Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
A Nepalese man shattered the previous mountaineering record for successfully climbing the world's 14 highest peaks, completing the feat in 189 days. Nirmal Persia scaled the 26,340-foot Mount Shishapangma in China on Tuesday. I'm sure I butchered that name. It was the last of the 14 peaks that are more than 26,240 feet in height. I bring this up because we don't usually talk about mountain climbing, but I bring this up because the previous record for climbing the 14 tallest peaks was 7 years, 10 months, and 6 days. It was set by, you guessed it, South Korean climber Kim Chang-ho in 2013. So I think he just barely eclipsed that record. 189 days as compared to 7 years and 10 months.
I'm in the midst of my attempt. I'm getting right there.
What peak are you up to?
I'm number 8.
You're on 8?
And it's only been 6 days for me. So I'm right on. I'm a very good pace to get there.
Drinking all that beer, climbing these peaks is not a good thing, man. Not a good thing for your health.
The mountains of Bush. That's what I've been climbing. Is that not what I thought that's what he did? Coors Light and Bush beer. What other mountains do you need?
Do they turn blue?
The Coors Light ones do. I don't know what other mountains you would possibly need in your life. So the NFL trade deadline is this afternoon at 3:00. There is a lot of stuff going on, and this could end up being an active trade deadline here. There are some reports that the Jets are listening to offers on Le'Veon Bell. So that'd be weird. That'd be a very short stay. Jamal Adams is certainly on the trade market for them. Dallas is said to be interested in him. The Dolphins have acquired Aqib Talib. I'm not sure why. They panicked last night when they were up 14-0, didn't know what the hell was going on, and
they saw Fitzpatrick get that interception against them.
He had two. He had two against them.
That's very strange. Let's go ahead and let's get a veteran corner to tank with. Not a trade here, but the Bengals have benched Andy Dalton. The Andy Dalton era is over in Cincinnati, it looks like. Ryan Finley will get the start after the bye week. Dalton, they can get out of his deal at the end of this year and undoubtedly will. I guess maybe they look to trade him today. I don't know that there's a market out there for Andy Dalton, but he has been benched in their bye week this week. And in case you missed it yesterday, former Memphis Tiger Jannard Avery was traded to the Eagles for a 4th-round pick, I believe it was.
And Jannard thanking the Cleveland Browns for drafting him and his time in Cleveland on social media. But I think he's been really, really good. And hopefully he'll help out the Eagles. Also from the NFL, we'll talk more about the NFL tomorrow because we really didn't have time to get into it today. Joe Flacco is out. They say it's because of an injury. He's not starting for Denver. I wonder if it's that or because what he said about Vic Fangio and the play calling. I mean, maybe it's a mysterious injury that has befell one Joe Flacco.
Maybe they should trade Joe Flacco for Andy Dalton.
There you go.
Just be done with it.
Disgruntled quarterback. In the disgruntled quarterbacks trade, big thanks to Drew Hill, Steve Macy, Don Wade, and Connor O'Gara for joining us today on the program. Tomorrow, Jerry Palm, Sigmund Bloom. We're working on a few other guests as well. We'll have dinner and a movie. As I said, we'll talk some NFL. Of course, we'll talk World Series tonight. It's the Nats and the Astros, Game 6. The Nats need to win to stay afloat and force a decisive Game 7. It'll be Strasburg for the Nats, Verlander for the Astros. Stay tuned. Johnny Radio's Happy Hour is coming up next. For Austin Eldridge and Eli Savoie, I'm Greg Gaston. Have a great day, everybody.
Whether we like it or not, best I can tell, the world's gone.